Yep. So, can you guys remind everyone what happened previously
No.
on Out of the Abyss? It's his daughter's chilling with Leroy eating chicken, probably. Um, or she's been captured by Ladrow. It is also another option. But yes, what happened previously? I'll try and remind you guys of bits, but if you can give us some broad strokes.
Sure.
Yeah, so we started off outside a city that we'd just been teleported to by a mind flayer who is now absent. Um, I can't remember the name of the city, but they were currently in a situation. They had some were
Blingdenstone.
by the drow.
That's right.
There was so there was some were rats that were causing a lot of trouble for them. They were like, right, we need you to negotiate with them. So we went and we negotiated with them, and they said they would happily return to the abandoned sector of the city and stop harassing everyone if we retook the abandoned bit of the city from someone called the Pudding King. So we went to scout it out. We found that it was covered in oozes, just thousands of these oozes that were slowly digesting everything. Buildings, mold, all the greenery, any scraps of remains they could lay their gelatinousness on.
Yes, I do not have hands.
we spoke to who was a nut? We spoke to a disembodied voice who was raving on, saying he was the Pudding King and he served the faceless god, and Bepedo, the strange little man who was with us, who was constantly going on about he was a Darrow, that was it. The Darrow who was constantly going on about a divine quest. He ran off to negotiate with this guy. We retreated, came back with an army, fought our way in to find that they teamed up, this Darrow, Bepedo, and the Pudding King, and they wanted us to be to throw ourselves into gelatinous ooze and give ourselves willingly to the faceless gods. And I've just murdered Bepedo, and I think the Pudding King is still alive.
No, I think we killed him.
No, everybody's gone.
Yeah, I think that was the last thing that you did.
Yeah, so we're in a we got put into a chamber. I can't remember how we got into this chamber, but there was
You ran into it basically. Yeah, you broke through with. There was also an encounter with the were-rats of Blingdenstone.
And
yep.
Chiprin and crap, I had the sticky note and now I don't.
Dorbo.
I had the notes, I promise.
Dorbo and Seni were the two leaders of Blingdenstone, the two deep gnomes, and all hail the pudding. And yes, Chipgrin was the leader of the were-rats. You kind of negotiated a truce between the two groups, and Chipgrin pledged his were-rats to the fight, and you saw him as you were busting into the Pudding King's place in the northwest, I believe it was actually, kind of section of the city, and you last saw him losing his arm to a gelatinous ooze. So he didn't look like it was going too well for him, but you managed to kill the Pudding King and Bepido and stop whatever nonsense was going on there with the oozes. And in return, you were promised maps to the overworld. And so hopefully you guys could get out of the Underdark if Dorbo and Seni are true to their word. So after that happened, we ended the session, and next up, I guess, is this session, which I believe is session 7. You guys leveled up last time.
Yeah,
and,
level 2 swag.
Also, Kazook Pickshine, who was the friendly deep gnome, came to your aid, and he was killed by Bepido. Which sucks for him, but at least you guys are alive. So, it feels bad, man. So, there you guys are standing in a pool of dead oozes, and a couple of deep gnomes and Bepido. What do you guys do?
I think I cut Bepido into very, very small pieces just to make sure there was no way he was coming back.
That's very true.
Wriggles
very
back
dark
to life.
person, and he practiced blood magic. So we're trying to get rid of as much of the blood as possible because I don't know how it works. And then I turn to Orin and I sort of say, "Well, where do we go now? We must head back to Blindenstone, surely."
Aye, they have maps for us. We must get a reward.
Do you think they will honor our agreement?
They best, if they know it's good for them.
As I tap the hilt of the drow sword on my hip.
Agreed. Although I wish to avoid bloodshed.
Any more bloodshed? Yes.
I look down at the fact I'm covered in
the-
Bapito.
Geppetto's blood.
Right. Right, of course. Well, let us be moving.
Aye. Lead the way.
Cool. So
Actually, I'll lead
you
the way. I say lead the way, and then I push you out of the way because you're going.
you're that way. You hear the sounds of combat coming from the hall below where you previously gone, and you see as you kind of come out, you see the were-rats retreating. Once they see you guys, they kind of begin to fall back now that their kind of job is done. And the sounds of combat outside. You also hear like a horn blow on the deep gnomes, and they're kind of retreating back. That sounds more like a mobile phone buzz.
I genuinely checked my phone there. I was like,
It's more like.
There you go. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
gnome. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a very gnomey horn.
FAB.
Exactly. So, what do you guys do? I mean, most of the users here are kind of like, not retreating, but they've kind of moved out to the sides where the were-rats had them pinned.
Cool. I'm gonna sort of suggest we make our way back through the oozes, sort of while they're clear, and try and get going.
Yep. I promptly make my way back.
Nice. So yeah, you work your way back through past these oozes, out through the courtyard, where you see plenty of deep gnome corpses, and of course some of these were-rats being dissolved in the remains of these oozes. There are still hundreds of them around here. They're just kind of moved out of your way a bit. And so as you look out, you see the remainder of the deep gnome and were-rat forces outside of this building kind of complex.
Right. Well, I'm gonna try and get back to Blindenstone and hope that everyone else is smart enough to along the way, if we find some people who need some assistance, I'll lend them some assistance, but I just want to get back.
Yeah. Cool. So I guess you guys head back, and you find you find Dorbo and Seni. Dorbo looks like he's been injured, and he's recovering. And the rest of the kind of quote unquote army, more like a militia force really, are also similarly recovering.
Cool. I'm gonna go over and is he being healed? But is someone healing him? Because I know.
Yeah. Seni's seeing to him.
Okay. I go offer and sort of say, his wounds, do they need healing?
She says, I have this. And she's wrapping his wound stuff, not with any magical means.
In which case I'm going to try and I checked to see the maps were on the desk last we were here, so I'm just going to sort of go over and give him a look as if to say may I?
She nods.
Cool. I take out a map and hand one to Orin. We just distribute them and roll them out as much as we can, just to see what we can discern from them.
So they are written in a language unknown to you, so you can't actually work out the names. you'd have to give me some kind of investigation check to figure out like where the "you are here" bit is.
I will do just that investigation. I'm actually playing the first character with okay sort of skills in that. He says rolling in that one probably.
It's a 5. Yeah, you can't really make head or tail of this thing.
God. I turn, shrug, and say, Orin, you are from these places. Do you know what we are looking?
Let me take a look here. It seems we are
God, that is
right
loud.
here.
So yeah, on a nat 20, you can tell exactly where you are. You're pretty used to these maps.
Right there.
Yeah, and you can also figure out like the quickest route out. There appears that there's some kind of secret tunnels, more kind of hidden tunnels. You can read into the map and figure out where there kind of should be a tunnel, where typically dwarves would keep their secret tunnels. The gnomes are pretty similar, and you figure out like the quickest route that you'd get to reach the series of tunnels which lead up into the overworld. It's not like a quick journey up. You're not kind of like 10 meters down. It probably looks like it'd probably take you a fair amount of travel to actually get above ground. But yeah, you know this map.
Cool. Well, sort of. I'm assuming this is sort of shared information. I say, right. Well, how is it best to proceed? I am unsure of where it is your final destination is.
It seems if we go to Barons, it seems we would be able to get my daughter, but if we go alone, I don't think we will survive.
I say,
Do you have friends on this?
I have a clan, Clan Canis, and well,
Is that a horn?
we huh?
Is that I thought I heard a gnomish horn. Was that a gnomish horn or was that a phone?
I don't know actually.
No,
was
it's
someone-
actually a phone. Yeah, cool. Yeah.
If we could
I,
get to the clan, maybe we can
I'm saying-
recruit some people.
I am the son of Clan Elder.
Though you are elves, I'm sure you'd be able to help me.
Well, as the son of the Clan Elder, I have considerable sway, and I would be able to rally many troops or clansmen to your aid. But getting there,
Oh boy. Thank you so much, Mac858, for donating 5 quid. Roll that table. DM choice. Who it affects. Nice.
Thank you so
Is this
much,
a
Mac.
game of 10,000 terrors.
It is
Yes.
indeed. I'm gonna get 10,000 and find me
If
that.
you guys are new here,
Oh,
you
I
know
wrote-
what just happened.
I'll take
we are-
Josh's roll because it's higher. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So we all roll.
Oh, it's you rolling. Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that bit. Right, okay.
No, it's fine.
Never mind.
It was. I think it was a DM roll, wasn't it? So 774. I'll go with it.
Yeah. So what's happening here is you guys as well can change the game as we play. We've got a couple of suggestions, and when you scroll down to the donate section, every penny helps us. Every quid, every pence helps us get to our goal for Comic-Con 2016 in London. So yeah, guys, if you want to help out and play the game, do not think twice. Scroll down to the donate section, see how you guys can play along with us. Right now, Will is rolling on our Wild Magic Surge D10,000 table.
This is funny.
And what did you get? Do you want to tell us, or do you want to just throw it in later without us knowing?
I got a 774. Yeah, it's not a immediate effect one, but it's pretty funny. So you guys can look it up. Don't players don't look it up because it'll spoiler really.
Okay,
But
yeah, good idea.
yes, thank you. Spoileroni. Yeah, you can find a link for that down below actually on our under our donate section for that table. If you guys are wondering what it is, it was 774. So it's just funny. Okay. All right. So actually, roll me between two of you. Both roll me a d20. You're looking for a low number.
How's an 8?
8's a low number. It's lowish. Can Josh go lower?
Cracky donated 420.
17, the perfect number. I am
Cracky
doomed.
donated
Thank you
420.
so much.
Have the shout of Leroy Jenkins echo through the area. Thank you so much, buddy.
All right. So this would actually perhaps give reason to what's
Oh, good.
happening here. So thank you guys so much.
Leroy is always the reason. That's,
I
the,
think so.
that's the thing.
Thank you guys so much for your generous donations today. Thus
Yeah.
far, we are almost 20 in. 20 minutes in, that is. 20 in.
Leroy is the solution. Leroy is the answer. That's
He is. He is the alpha and omega. So Jen doesn't seem to know that we're live. We are live here, Jen.
Ah. That's weird.
Try refreshing.
I don't know if she heard us. She's
Maybe
like,
not.
oh, that's weird.
Everyone's talking in here. What's
Oh,
on doing?
why is this so active right now?
All right, so sure, I'll break your stream load damage. It's okay, Mike. I can roll the punches. So you guys, as you like, just get all these maps. You have a look at them. You figure out whereabouts you want to go. You hear this cry, like echo around the caverns, around in Blingdenstone. And it sounds a bit like Leroy Jenkins, but it's very loud. It kind of reverberates around, and the walls actually start shaking, and like some dust comes out of like the ceilings and stuff,
Out
like
of
the
abyss?
force of it out of the abyss. In fact,
I
yeah.
imagine it comes from like every direction simultaneously. Like, you know, when sound bounces off and seems to come from every direction. Like,
Yeah,
we are
that's the way sound
surrounded
works.
by.
So, as this happens, you guys feel that it kind of shakes you a bit. It feels pretty bad. Just like, what on earth could this thing be? It kind of reminds you, Orin, of the demon before.
Demogorgon.
Yeah, the Demogorgon. So, you know, bad memories there, and
I
you
hold the walls, or I go, like grab a,
Yeah.
like grab a handful of sharp, craggy rock and try to just, just a
Yeah.
handful. Perfect size.
Quinn, you're also pretty shaken by this phenomenon. It's not good, but you feel this like change inside of you, and it's just never good when a DM says that. But
As opposed to last time where it was a change on the outside of you.
on the outside, yeah, of course you have a bear paw for a left hand.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you feel this change inside of it, and you might want to keep this to yourself, because you feel like a really desire to. Let me preface this by saying you, as a druid, are pretty familiar with natural venoms. You've probably had to use them for like antidotes and stuff in your tribe. You would be familiar with knowing that an antidote for like a snake bite would be to get some of its venom and use some magic to form that. But you have like a real kind of craving to get hold of some like cobra's venom. You feel like you're probably going to need it for something. You just need to like. It's like a really strong urge just to have some cobra venom.
Mate, I can relate to that as a player. It's one of those things that regularly happens to me. So yeah, I'll be on the lookout. That's actually quite handy because
The best place
Yeah.
you can go is probably Umber. Speaking of which, tomorrow we got the West Marches game is set in Umber.
Indeed, it is.
indeed. So yeah, I will keep.
Don't
my-
I have like
yeah.
gills or something?
Yes, you do. Oh my god, I forgot that.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's got
You've got-
gills behind his ears or something.
yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
That one. So you've got a bear paw and an addiction to some venom.
Yeah,
at this
well, you
point.
can barely see them because I've got.
I've got an
a beard.
addiction to some venom.
Well, like a craving, I guess.
Now it's craving.
As in, I want to take it, or
You just want, at this point, you want to get hold of it.
okay. I want to grab my cobra.
Well, I mean, this is a great spot. We are in the Underdark.
Sorry, you're in the Underdark for this. Thank you, little mad one. Thank you so much for clicking that follow button. Welcome.
Welcome to the adventure, my friend. You're a gentleman and a scholar, sir. And also thank you to Yogi Danny Boy 333 for following earlier. We didn't
yes.
shout you out, but
And
thank you.
Thank you, Cracky, for the host as well.
Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
There you guys are. I guess you have a map. Dorbo kind of he's clearly got something like acid wound, and he says, "So
There's acid wound. You got some poison on that.
maybe,
Huh?
yeah, you probably think
Don't
about that."
beat me to it. That's my poison, damn it.
Started licking his leg.
He says, "So I guess to honor our agreement, you guys will be on your way, but you can take some of our warriors, as I promised, seeing as you sorted out our problems."
Thank you, warriors.
Is there a way to the surface directly from here?
Yeah, and he kind of struggles over to the map, points that to a tunnel. These tunnels will lead you up to the surface worlds, like I said, somewhere near Purg, which is the capital. Yeah. So it should take you maybe a week to get up there. Be careful along the way, of course. I can give you 5 of my best.
I turn to Orin and I say, it might be best that we leave these men here. If this is the easiest way back down, unless we can find somewhere closer to Menzel Baron that we can come into the Underdark, this might make a good rally point for our gathered troops.
Yes, but we also have them as a guide that we may need to have them follow along and let us. We don't want to get lost like last time.
True, but we have maps now.
Aye,
Sim-
but you haven't been in the darkness that long to know what lurks within the deep tunnels, just beyond the shadow of which you can't see.
True. We will take them then.
Dorbo nods. All right, I'll have them arranged outside. When are you leaving?
No, if we can.
I'm like, do we have any reason to stay? No, now is good.
He nods. Well, yeah, my thanks, and he puts out a little fist to shake.
axe.
And my axe. He puts out his hand to shake.
I shake his hand
I reach out with my bare paw,
with a firm
not
grip.
thinking anything of it. I'm just like, yeah.
It's like wrapped up
Other
at this
hand.
point, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've
it's
wrapped
like
up to disguise it a little bit, yeah.
We use my
Um,
coin purse.
Yes, that's it, yeah. So, yeah, after a couple of minutes, you see 5 of these gnomes look pretty worn out from the previous battle outside. Kind of lined up.
Shall we be going then?
Aye.
We head off. Yeah.
I forgot how fucking awkward your 2 conversations are.
Like,
Yes. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, we head off. That's
Good
just
talk.
what happens.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys head off. So who's leading the way? I'm guessing Orin, because he
Orin,
knows the
yeah.
map pretty
He's
well.
Probably scanning the map.
can I lend an assistance survival wise?
Yeah. So Orin, roll me a survival check.
Okay.
Quinn 14.
9.
So yeah, even with the assist, you guys
The
head off.
assist, does that give me like a +1 or does that give me a
It's
advantage?
+2.
Oh,
yeah.
+2. All right.
So yeah, you guys head out as quickly as possible with these 5 guys. They seem to know. They lead you to the tunnel immediately. They seem to know kind of where they're going, but these guys have never been to the overworld, as they call it before. And of course, you just call this place Satonica. Quinn, yeah. So, Quinn, we need to know a little bit about your clan. because of course in the Broken Kingdoms, slavery is still pretty much a thing. It's not really a good time for elves. So
basically they live off the beaten track, sort of away from the world. I'm not actually like they're all druid in the essence of how their lifestyle, but like they're not all druids. Like a lot of them are just warriors. It's mainly like the elders who are like there's a specific bloodline that's maintained that are druids in the magical sense, but the rest are just sort of warriors who live tribal lives. And yeah, they're generally they'd be in a wooded sort of. They'd need quite a large hunting ground. So I imagine like they're not near sort of settlements. I mean, they're not really hostile towards other people. They just, they're generally quite reclusive.
Yeah, I get you. So as you guys are traveling, you find, Orin, that you've probably gone a little bit wrong. One of the gnomes actually points out to you at some point, we're not on this. Like he points to one. We're not in this tunnel. We're in this one. We need to head back.
Oh.
It's going to cost us a couple of days.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Do you all agree with him?
And he looks at the other gnomes.
Like they kind of nod. They have a look at it. Yeah, sounds about right.
All right, here.
And I just throw the map at him.
Yeah.
You lead the way.
Cool. So yeah, they grab it, take it away. Quinn, can you roll me a wisdom saving throw?
Wisdom saving throw.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
He certainly can.
How's it going for other player?
There you are. 19.
19. Yeah.
So I'm good.
In the kind of darkness, there are certain cravings come to you once again to get hold of some of this venom.
I'm going to keep my eye out. Can I roll a nature check to see if I can find?
I can tell you right now, there's no cobra's venom down in the Underdark. It simply doesn't exist. So you certainly look, but you won't find any of it here. But you managed to resist the urge to do anything kind of stupid, strange. Yeah. So you are delayed a couple of days, unfortunately, due to the map, the incidents that occurred. So a couple of days later, and thank you, Uncle Father 69, for following. Welcome to the adventure, my friend. You are a gentleman and a scholar, sir, of the highest order. Welcome. So yeah, you're a bit delayed. It takes you a couple of extra days. For the most part, what kind of stuff are you guys getting up to over like a week of travel?
So Quinn is Quinn's over the sort of the period where he's traveling, spends quite a lot of time sort of praying and asking the spirits for guidance. And over this time, like, I'm not sure. I'll let you decide how, but like he gets responses. Maybe it's like this is me being a druid interpreting the signs. So maybe it's something like I see like a one-legged or like a spider missing like two of its legs that scuttles across the wall, and that number resonates with me, or some just the change in the air, the smells, that are brought on.
Sorry.
Indeed. And general sort of stuff to do with nature, like
that's not
maybe he probably sees stuff in like moss and like signs.
You certainly look at kind of like moss patterns and stuff which you've been fairly familiar with, and there's like weird growths on them. Think beginning of the first Hobbit film, where you're kind of in the Radagast, everything here has gone weird kind of mode.
Yeah.
All the moss has got kind of weird, not necessarily evil like growths on it, but kind of like black sticky materials that shouldn't be growing on them. The creatures are doing odd things.
Weird chittering sounds.
Yeah, noises. Some of them are actually like moving together in formation, like which is pretty creepy to see, like spiders moving together, like 2 or 3 spiders like in a formation. And so you could tell there's definitely something weird affecting them and affecting the place in general. The symptoms lessen the further you travel upwards, and of course, you guys are for the most part now traveling up. Up an incline, and most of the time you're actually going upwards rather than level or down or upwards, fairly consistently. So what about Orin?
What is he doing during this time?
Yeah.
He's starting to braid his beard a bit more as he walks. It's kind of like a nervous tick he does, as well as take out his blade and pray and cut a bit of his beard off. Because that's the thing that he's got to do now. Thank you, Alberto Malachi. Anyway, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the adventure, my friend. You are a gentleman and a scholar.
The highest order.
Of the highest order.
Indeed. So yeah, braiding hair. Anything else?
Probably not.
Okay. So you guys actually start to. So you feel a very odd sensation after about a week. You feel a breeze on your faces and bodies. This is like very odd. The gnomes are incredibly disconcerted. They kind of look around, like they kind of draw weapons and stuff like, what's that?
Have we? Do I smell any familiar scents from like tree sap, stuff like that?
Roll me a perception check.
Could I roll nature maybe? Or?
To smell it would be perception, yeah.
That's actually better for me. I'll stop arguing. An 8. No.
You can't, but the breeze is testament enough to the fact that there is a current of air nearby, which is you probably haven't felt in a very long time, other than a very kind of light breeze from some natural caverns and stuff.
I am Captain Jack Sparrow from the 3rd Pirates of the Caribbean film. He's just like, oh, for a breeze, a breath of
So yeah, the gnomes are probably have never felt this before, and so they're kind of like pressed up against the walls and kind of fighting formation, ready to go. Like, get down, could be anything.
It is nothing to fear. It is
like
the
a chilly
outside
breeze.
A cool breeze. It's not like icy. It's like a. I mean, Orin. Again, you probably wouldn't have.
Yeah, no. His shield is out, and he's like kind of hiding behind the breeze behind his buckler.
Imagine like you guys have like fallen behind me, and you're in like Spartan turtle formation. Like you've created like a phalanx, and I'm just like,
guys.
It's a breeze.
What are you doing?
The wind. It's a torrent of energy.
We no longer have to fight in the shade. I head towards I follow the breeze to see where it's coming from.
Cool. So
the hairs on the back of my neck standing up, but why are my arms prickly?
So the gnomes kind of slowly trudge forwards, cautiously, and
for
Nobragon. Fucking battle.
For the gnomes.
For the gnomes. So yeah, they cautiously follow, and you turn a corner, and then you see like bright light coming from a tunnel entrance off in the slight distance. Like clearly this is sunlight coming through.
What is that?
It's like the most brilliant light you guys have ever seen.
What is that?
I draw my weapon and say, that is the outside world, but there is something.
It's light peering through like cracks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I approach it with my shield and sword out.
Yeah, I approach like side by side with you with shield out, and I say, I must warn you, there are strange things happening in this more civilized world.
Then
Things I do
Then
not
this light.
begin to understand.
what is this?
It is like when it kind of plays across your fingers and your shield, plays across your face. So if you go up to it in your eye, it really hurts to look in. You have to really squint to make anything out.
I
How
I take
can
it.
this be?
I take the rags that you gave me, like
Yeah.
put around my back paw, and I say, here, and I'm gonna cut like a couple of strips out of it, so enough for like everyone to have one strip, and I'm gonna cut slits in it, and say, put these over your eyes, or you may be
Yeah.
blinded.
Then I won't be able to see. Why would I do that?
Say, you'll be able to see soon enough. The levels of light are so fierce when you come out of the Underdark. For such amount of time, your eyes need time to adjust, and if there is an enemy by the mouth of this exit, we will need our wits about us.
Perhaps this is wise.
And I kind of like look and nod towards the gnomes as I approach, or as I wrap this quote-unquote blindfold, the slitted fold.
It's not like a
around my-
blindfold,
Yeah,
it's got
you've
slits
got
in it, but
slits
it's-
in it. Yeah.
You know how
Not
like,
holes, but slits. Yeah. For
Yeah,
light to
it's
just
how
peer
you
through.
sort of protect against being snowblind. It
Mhm.
like stops, minimizes the light
Sweet.
in the. Yeah, let's go.
So yeah, they put these things on, and you come out, and it is that classic Fallout moment where you kind of your eyes are kind of burnt
Yes.
initially. I mean, you guys have been down here for, you probably don't actually know how long, or in all of your life. And so your eyes are just not adjusted whatsoever to the kind of radiance of the sun.
Yeah.
You guys are effectively blind when you come out for the first minute. It's just like can't see anything at all. It's almost burning light. There are tears running down your face. From
We've got these things on our face though.
yeah, you do, but I mean, you've literally never seen sunlight before,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so any light
This is
which reaches
probably
your eyes.
I mean, in all seriousness, you can actually go blind from stuff like that. So
Oh, yeah,
it's,
yeah.
this is probably what makes the difference.
Yeah. So yeah, it's quite possible that without these things you would immediately just be blinded. And so like there's probably several moments, probably several minutes of kind of like crying, wiping away like tears,
is
trying
this?
to get this horrible like it's clearly some kind of evil attack or
Yeah.
demonic force attacking you because nothing is
Just like-
hurt this bad.
There's Quinn at the front, just like, hold your ground.
Well, Quinn's probably like not as as affected. He's been here before. His eyes have adjusted
Yeah,
to light.
I mean,
So I mean, ours have probably never adjusted
at all.
past being dilated huge. Like they've never actually like the iris is never actually focused. So it's probably I've probably never squinted before in my life. So now it's like all these sensations that my eyes are getting.
and the gnomes as well. They're all there.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Ow.
Yeah. But Orin he's got the shield over his face, and he's like trying really hard to like pierce, like open his eyes, but he can't even like open them a slit without light piercing through and burning his eyes. All the while screaming cries to Moradin for Moradin to help him.
So there's probably like at least 10 minutes of this like absolute pain and like, agony
Yeah.
for you guys and the gnomes. It probably takes Quinn about 5 minutes to actually adjust to light a little bit.
Yeah.
But we'll say after about 10 minutes you can open them enough to like if you look up at the sky it would really hurt, but if you're kind of looking down at the ground you're okay. It still really burns. You can just about look around. Same for the gnomes.
I don't like this elf. Why are we here? Why did I think to this? What are we doing here again? Remind me why this was a good idea.
Calm yourself, dwarf.
My eyes are being burnt out, and I can't escape it.
I look. I'm gonna look for some sort of shelter.
Why would anybody
where
live in
come
such
up?
hell?
Yeah, you can grab some cover of some trees.
Yes, yeah, cool. I lead them. I lead the party, sort of like bow drawn at this point to the safety of the trees and like the canopy, and I say, try to adjust to the light, but the sun has that effect on those who stray from the Underdark.
What is this sun you speak of? And how can I defeat it?
I say, the sun is spirit, spirit of deer. It lives in the sky, and it governs over all these lands.
So there is a demon that resides over the overworld and watches your every being and judges your every action. Why?
Only those who are unworthy.
The dangers of getting like taught by a fucking hippie druid about the world.
Yeah.
He's like, he doesn't even believe the shit himself. He's like, yeah, you eat that up, dwarf. You don't know dick or...
So as you, I mean, you've pretty much had very kind of short focus, like get to the trees, don't look too much at the sun.
Yeah.
When you're in the shade, it's much better for you guys and the gnomes and you as well, Quinn. You can see that you're actually by what looks like a mountain range, and this reminds me to do something that I was going to do earlier. But you actually see before you, in a distance, you see a big city, a huge city. In fact, you would probably never have been here to Purg because it's a very bad place to go if you're an elf.
I'd have no interest in going there
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, yeah, it's a civilized
Going
place.
out, yeah.
What you see there is, I mean, it's a huge kind of very imperial-looking city. Think imperial city from Oblivion, and that sort of architecture. Very kind of almost like think either 60s England sort of concrete, sort of harsh style, or kind of Russian gulag sort of architecture. It's just looking for the world map to get you guys. It's very imposing architecture. It's clearly a very old style, which has been built to be imposing and scary. This is by no means you would think this would be a nice place to look at. It's very busy. You can tell inside. You can just see people crawling everywhere like ants if you can make it out.
Yep.
In the distance, similarly to that, so I want to bring this here, and I'll bring you guys into this layer thing real quick. In the distance, you see a great bolt of lightning, like green lightning. It's really weird. It looks like Quinn looks like some kind of magic as well. Orin, you can probably tell it's some kind of magic. And I'm just going to drag you into this one here so you can see the world map of Tonica and figure out just about where you are in the world. You guys obviously don't have this map, but this is just for players, viewers to check out. So yeah, you're probably just in this kind of copse of trees by Purg, which is set into the back of a mountain range. The heat of the sun actually for this time of year is actually a fairly chill day, but to you guys, of course, it's blinding, searing light. Purg and its environs are kind of it's a kind of grey, chill kind of stone underfoot, very little grass areas. For it's coming down from the mountains, the rocks kind of slide down from the mountains and form the ground upon which you walk. You see Purg, this incredibly imposing city, and this huge bolt of green lightning, which of course you guys, you know from the Broken Kingdoms, this is one of a huge kind of problem which was going on in the first series of the Broken Kingdom, to do with the demons and Nilfheim, and this is obviously, seeing as we're in a similar timeline, in fact carrying on straight after Broken Kingdoms, you see this huge channels of green magic coming down. If you look into the distance, they look like storms almost, but actually like shooting upwards.
I point at one of these. I'm just like, Elvis, turn that off. And then I wait for Elvis to just shut down this bullshit.
Sorry.
Oh, I missed Elvis so much. Yes.
Me too.
Right. Well, we should be going now. We need to make good time to that infernal city.
I don't think you've seen, Will, what a radiation storm is yet in Fallout 4.
I haven't.
Their
I haven't
things.
Yep.
It's awesome. So yeah, I'm just
Horrible.
picturing that. Like it's like really like dark fog,
Yeah.
dark clouds. Like it's got like this brownish green haze, and then there's green lightning that zaps, and like of course your
Yeah.
rad meter goes crazy. But
Yeah,
picture
yeah.
that, but just like
Also
with
picture.
lightning going up.
Yeah, also picture Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. So deep breath before the storm when that
Yes.
when that huge kind of stuff goes up, and it
Yeah.
similar looks very similar to
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So yeah, one of the gnomes kind of points and says, "What is that? Is that normal?"
No,
No.
this is
I got no
most
idea.
troublesome. We should stay away from whatever that is.
Well, yeah, it doesn't look good. That's kind of. Ooh, he's having a little panic attack. Quinn, you'd probably be fairly familiar with these phenomenons before you left Atonica, before you were captured by the drow.
It's more the fact that it's like Quinn's sort of like, do I really want to watch? Like,
Yeah.
I had to explain the sun, explaining demons from hell raining down upon the earth through magical tears in reality. No, let's just stay away from it, okay?
Yeah, baby steps.
Fucking, I'm like, I've got to explain the moon when that comes out. Will like fucking.
Oh god, yeah,
Cut me some slack. Stars, everything. How
yeah.
to order takeout. It's gonna be a long day.
So
You can get food delivered.
I heard about this.
Sorry.
So yeah, you see the city before you. Alberta, she'll be around later. She's currently getting a haircut. Sydney will confirm the inches anytime now.
Nice.
But yeah, you see the city of Purg, which you could only assume to be Purg before you. And kind of off in the distance, you see like set off another mountain range with snowy peaks. And there's kind of a pass in between. I'll be looking at kind of about that area there. So yeah, the city is before you. You are at quite a distance. What do you do?
I say there are people in the city who, well, they do not like those who are not human.
Go on.
Are you familiar with racism?
No. What is that?
It's small-mindedness. People who think their race are better than all others.
Well,
And they are
of
quick to
course,
kill.
because dwarves are the best race.
I give him like a really threatening finger with I threaten him with my paw, and I'm just like, do not mock me, dwarf. There are people
I'm not mocking you.
and they will kill you just for what you are. We must carefully in this world.
Well, it's a city full of elves, humans, drow.
Humans, unfortunately, unlike the Underdark where things can hide before you, these will hide as friends,
They must be-
masquerade and lie. They are not to be trusted.
Crimson Phoenix 91 donated £1. Advantage for Josh on next roll. Little
Hey.
generous since it's my birthday. Happy birthday.
Hey, happy birthday, Brian.
No way!
Happy
Yeah,
birthday,
good
buddy.
one.
So yes, Josh, you got advantage.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Awesome.
I will use that to save myself from the death that Will will throw.
Happy
at
birthday,
me.
buddy.
This is where it's like advantage on next throw, and Will's like, roll a Constitution saving throw just to see if you fall asleep.
Better not.
So, yeah, what do you guys do?
So yeah, we head to let's head into Purg. I mean, it's
Alright.
dangerous as fuck, but
Yep. So, you it probably takes you a better part of a few hours to get towards.
I'm still wearing that blindfold too.
Yeah. You guys probably have to, because you have to go out into the sunlight, and
Yep.
yeah, you come across several travelers along here. Most of them look pretty harried and kind
So
of
why? That's because I'm a
what?
dwarf.
Yeah, so these people are clearly kind of refugees. They're not wealthy people. They're kind of running. Quinn, you'd probably be familiar with this because of all the attacks been going on. Cities have been attacked, from what you've heard. As towns have been destroyed, and so everyone's kind of running to Purg as a kind of safe place, as safe places go. Although despite this, you do come across some unpleasant behavior. People spit at you as you go by.
I spit back.
Yeah.
But
And
like
people...
loogies, not like
Yeah.
hiss. I just like. That's for you.
I imagine like the people like there's like civilians who are like spitting at us, and we're just like heavily armed. I have a bear paw. He's wearing like he's got this
Yeah.
huge dress shorts on. We're just like fucking really.
Yeah, they've
Well,
probably never
like-
seen this probably style of blade before.
Are you a Druga?
Nope.
Nope.
I am just a mountain dwarf who's
Cool.
never
Oh yeah,
seen.
I
the
knew.
sun.
I just wasn't sure if you were like because
No.
you must be pale skinned. Yeah, but at least they like because I imagine a Druga would be even more spat upon.
They probably wouldn't even know what it is.
Yeah,
They would
exactly.
kill on sight. What the hell? We'll figure that
Yeah.
out later.
Yeah. It looks like they probably assume that the deep gnomes are just gnomes, but they're very rare. People give you either a wide berth or they kind of spit at you or give you unpleasant remarks and the like. And you come up to like a very imposing gateway, which is actually open. The doors to Purg are open. People are going in mostly. Some people are going out. There are probably several hundred guards actually standing by the gates, appear to be checking people. The kind of standard affair of going into a city in wartime. Check that there aren't possible spies. Check that people aren't bringing things that they shouldn't be into the city. And so, yeah, there are these guards here. After a while, you'd probably come up for a bit of waiting and or pushing. You'd come through to this. Unless you guys want to take a different route or something, it's up for you to decide.
I'd say to Orin, I am unaware of how it is we go about entering the city. This is never somewhere I wanted to be.
Now you tell me.
I told you. I literally told you earlier, but yes.
Well, we need to be here so we can get the right reinforcements and the right help to defeat the drow, so I can get my daughter. I said. Now, where do you think we should go? Should we go to the barracks, or should we? Yeah, never mind. I'll take it from here.
And I actually strut up to the guard.
I'm the talking's all on you, buddy.
Yeah, not a good
Go.
idea.
It gives you a kind of unsavory look.
Quite bitter.
Right. Where is your general or your war chief or whatever you humans call it?
He says,
I just strode up to him with like my blindfold with the slits on it, and I like barely see. I'm just
he looks down at you because he's a lot taller,
Yeah.
and he says, "I'm the sergeant here. Who are you?"
I'm Orin of the god Moradin. I hail from Gauntlgrem.
He shakes his head. Never heard of it.
Have you been in the darkest caves before? Under.
The what?
I live under.
You live in a fucking hole?
Careful. I live in the Underdark.
Right. He looks kind of disbelievingly.
There's a passage right up the road that leads to the Underdark.
Yeah, if you say so, mate. Right. Next. He's not like giving you passage. He's like, who's next?
Sir, help me, please. I have a daughter that is missing due to the drow.
Oh yeah.
Can you help me?
Roll me a persuade.
yeah, he's not much of a talk.
You give me a disadvantage because he
Yeah, of course.
racism.
Yes.
Disadvantage because of racism.
Yep.
I'll remember this.
I will remember this day.
Yeah. On an 8. Yeah. He says, "Sorry, can't help you. You haven't seen her."
I did not roll one.
So that was my perception, mate.
Oh,
That
sorry.
is my...
It's the 7. Is it?
Even worse.
Yeah. Yeah. He says something.
Oh, disadvantage. Oh, craps. You're right.
Right, well,
City's full enough as it is.
what?
I said the city's full enough as it is. What about your kind here?
My kind.
I put a hand
I
out
am
like
the only one of my kind here. I don't see anybody else who stands half the height of you.
Oh, there are plenty of dwarves here, just enslaved. You must be a freed one.
Enslaved, I don't... Yes, I have been freed before.
Exactly. Must have done you 100 years. Haven't got the tattoos for it though.
No, I don't.
Anyway,
I turn to the dwarf and I'm just like, we should leave this place.
We haven't got anything done.
And these people will not help.
Right, I'll be back.
And I like waggle my finger at him.
I will be back.
And,
wait, what'd you say your name was again?
Orin, Lightvein.
Who are these lot?
These lot happen to be my guides from Blindenstone, probably another place you've never heard of. This is Quinn of Clan Cain.
An elf. And spits on the floor. And what are these?
Exactly.
Goblins?
See, that is something we can agree on. The fact that he's an elf.
I spit at the feet of Quinn, and then I kind of, with my like profile, I want to wink at
But
Quinn.
Quinn doesn't care. You don't have to worry about insulting him. He has no like. In his eyes, you'll all be dead soon. I don't care.
Great. And so yeah, I'd spit at his feet, and I go,
Yes, that's something we can both agree on, filthy elf. Now, have you... I don't know if you know of something called the drow. Have you ever heard of a drow?
Fairy tale. Told to scare children.
Right. Where I'm from, they're no fairy tale. They are,
Right.
They are a threat. And I have a daughter that has been stolen by the drow. And
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, but they ain't here, are they? Perhaps you
will
should
be.
go back to your hole. Fine.
Sir, they will be here.
Yeah,
We
we've
were
got enough
just-
problems as it is right now.
Yes, you will have even more problems soon. There is a gargantuan beast walking through the Underdark.
Yeah,
and is
alright.
climbing
Yeah.
its
Okay.
way to the surface world.
Yeah, he thinks you're like insane or just wasting his time.
Yeah, of course.
Tell
But
me
like
about your problems and tell me how they are probably worse than mine.
he goes to speak and then like a runner comes to him, probably like a young boy, and like tugs on his sleeve and then like whispers something in his ear. He says what? And
President,
he's
a word.
yeah, he's like says it, the little boy says it again, and he looks kind of disbelieving. He turns back to you. An elf, a dwarf, and 3 deep gnomes. Apparently, you have to see Baroness Keir Bleak.
Baroness Bleak.
Yeah, Baroness Bleak. She wants to see you, apparently, so I'm to let you in.
Orin.
Well, I'll get to it.
Quinn turns to Orin and says, "These people are not to be trusted."
These people are letting us in. You want to do the talking? Didn't think so. Well, get to it. I don't have time for you to laze about. Human, open the door.
Well, you're like the door is like open and stuff. He's just
But
they're
they
just
let me
stopping you
pass.
from passing. Yeah. So yeah, he grunts and then he says, "Follow me," and leads you past the kind of sentry.
Sphere donates £1. Hey guys,
How's it going, Raj?
how's it going, Raj?
This happens every time. Raj isn't allowed to speak in
how he
in
says
chat.
hi now.
Apparently, he is,
In chat.
Oh my gosh, Raj. Thank you, Drew. You can also give somebody advantage if you want.
yeah.
I've already got advantage, so don't give it to me. Give it to.
Cool or me?
Give it to Will. Give it to Will.
So yeah, he leads you past the sentry point. As you come through into the city, you can clearly tell that there is pestilence, slavery, poverty, and all the worst sorts of human behavior in
Sounds
city.
like a human city.
Yep. It's really not a particularly good place to be, certainly in this kind of lower district.
Where is Emperor Trump? I have a couple of words with him.
So you come through, and you go past probably like thousands of people you've already passed. You see plenty of enslaved elves and dwarfs in these areas. You see even enslaved humans.
I free them. Moving on.
Okay, yeah, free. Gain 50 XP per
Yay.
news free. Yeah, they're all led by guards or private owners. And
Get under tree.
yeah, all on Garrett's.
It's free to slave.
You look. You can see up in the upper levels of the city as
Look
a
at
kind
all
of
the
like a
Garretts.
citadel. Yeah, it's kind of citadel here, kind of almost Minas Tirith style. At the top, you know, they've got a big kind of it's like like staging area, kind of like huge balcony thing going on, like a palace at the top. You are slowly being led up there. You have to go past several checkpoints where the guards will kind of.
Raj Sphere donates another $1 and says, "Flip a coin."
Okay.
So
Between
all right,
the two.
we'll flip a coin between. Do you want
Hold
heads
on,
or
I'll
tails?
flip. I'll flip.
Oh, okay,
I'll flip.
All right, all right.
I've got it. Right, heads or tails?
Tails, no fails.
Damn. Heads, because I win. Now that I donated 3, why don't we have
Yes.
Cord and Josh inspiration and disadvantage to Will? Is what he just donated.
Thanks so much.
All right, so Cord and Josh inspiration and disadvantage to Will. Awesome.
All right then.
Thank you. So who won that flip, just in case?
Okay, so-
You actually won it.
Yes,
so
awesome.
well done.
Take that.
Nice.
Thanks, Raj.
So, yeah, you go past several of these checkpoints. The guards will probably spit at you, or like even kick you like past quicker. All sorts of kind of bullying behavior. But you can tell, like, you can look at these guys and tell that they've seen some pretty bad stuff over the past few months. Probably all of their friends have.
They probably look hostile towards everyone,
Pretty
just
much.
specifically us. But like, I imagine they've got that really sort of like that 1,000-yard stare, paranoid, weapon, hands always on their weapons. Yeah.
Yeah. The guy leading you through, he names himself Sergeant Reich, and he explains the current
of his
situation, third of his kind,
Yeah.
and he says most of these men probably seen at least one member of their family die over the past few months. Everyone's lost someone due to the demon attacks. People are fleeing his purg, so yeah, our problems are pretty bad.
Demon attacks. Tell me about this demon. What
He
is
looks at the sun like, "Damn you! We'll have our vengeance."
Yeah.
Knew it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he,
gonna
like-
point to the sun and be like,
I told you, Quinn.
He points
be
to
trusted.
the kind of lightning, the green lightning storm, in the distance, and he says, "You see that? Well, that seems to be how they're coming up. Looks like another settlement's been overtaken. We're expecting attacks upon Purg itself shortly. They're kind of massing armies around the area. From what our scouts report, and Chark down in the south has been taken. It's been a month of siege before it fell. It's only a matter of time before others do. That's why all the barons and baronesses have assembled here in Purg for a meeting of sorts to get to the root of the problem if we can. That's all I know. So hopefully something will fucking get done before more people die.
Right, well, hopefully we could help. And
Well,
you
I
could
doubt
help
how
me.
a dwarf and an elf can really help, but we'll see.
You know what? Maybe I won't help you.
Yeah,
Too
despite himself, he can't get over the kind of cultural barrier of the racism which has been kind of implanted into him.
He's like trying to cut down. He's like on racism diet.
Yeah.
Racism light.
Pretty much, it's
It's almost like a footnote at the end, like, yeah, no, you guys are pretty nice guys. You dirty goblins.
yeah, exactly. Like, I still think your entire race are awful, but you're okay. Like,
I'm
yeah.
amazed how you've overcome your
Yeah,
difficulties.
the difficulties of being a dwarf. Yeah. So you go past more of these checkpoints. You come into kind of richer districts, but even here, there's kind of
God,
you,
Reich,
yeah.
you better
What did you-
change your attitude about who we are,
Or what?
or I
I
will look and stare into your
step-
dying eyes. Myself.
step between the two of them, and
Yeah,
I turn to the sergeant. I say, "We have somewhere to be. I believe you will understand. My friend and I have seen equally disturbing things in the Underdark."
says the
Things-
racist dwarf.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm like, I am surrounded by so much racism, it's unreal.
Yeah.
And all of it is directed at elves in some way. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I give you people.
Yeah, he kind of gives you
What do you mean, you people?
there's a kind of tense moment, and then he turns and says, "Come on," and sets up a quicker pace. You come up through up to the higher levels.
Ladrin. Helps are our word.
So you come up to the kind of upper citadel, and here is actually very nice. Kind of white marble stuff going on here. Not everything's built out of it, but like kind of statues and stuff. It's still very imposing architecture. But you come into a kind of open courtyard where there's actually running water and fountains, and there are guards stationed around. But there's also like double doors into a great hallway, which Reich opens, kind of Aragorn style. They open up, and
I'm watching that later.
yeah,
I need to watch it later.
Just that
Yeah.
clip.
Yeah, I'm watching all of it later. I'm
the
gonna watch
entire film just to see that clip.
Yeah. It's probably
So he comes through, and there's actually a kind of old school sort of butler here of days gone. Even here, butlers are not really commonplace. Like you certainly you guys would no fucking clue what this guy's job is. But he, kind of nicely dressed guy comes along, and he says, "How can I help? New arrivals?" And Reich says, "Yeah, get him rooms. Bleak's gonna see him." And he claps his hands. Excellent. Right, come with me, you two, and you 5 little helpers over there.
What? What?
Yeah, he claps his hands. Come on, and starts walking off.
I turn to
yours.
I turn to Orin. I have never met such a being in my life. That's
They
it.
meet a
Quinn
camp
was
man.
doing so well, and then it turns out after all this, he's homophobic, and I'm like, oh god damn it. No, yeah, he's just like, I have no idea what.
He has
What is
certain
it?
elvish qualities about him.
Right.
He was raised by elves, so-
Reich says, "Yeah, he's a bit of a odd one, but he'll take it to your rooms."
Was he raised by elves?
Probably. And he
Was it his choice?
spits on the floor. It says, "If you need me, call a guard for me. I'll be staying around here."
I probably would never call for you. So
I turn to
don't get
Orin and
comfortable.
I just slowly draw the middle claw on my bare paw and just point it at you. Like, that's all I have to say, Orin.
He he's like, "And if I catch you two making any trouble around here, then the consequences will be severe. Do I make that clear?"
I blow him a kiss.
He spits.
I'm listening. I'm not listening
wink.
to him at this point.
You'll get
following
along
this.
well with that one. And then he turns, and the butler / kindergarten teachers.
I'm used to elves.
He says, "Come on, you. Let's go. What's the rush? Oh, what's the delay?"
Sorry.
Okay.
You two, as he's walking down these corridors, you two look kind of rugged.
See.
Yeah, you've been on the road for a while.
No road. Lot of tunnels.
I'm just like, no, we don't travel by road.
Deep dark caverns.
Oh right, that's nice.
Ooh,
He's trying to say like,
Oh,
that's nice.
caverns, you say?
Maybe take me there sometime.
This is now a Kappa Pride only stream. Yeah. But he leads you through. Says, "We don't usually get people of your kind, if you forgive the phrase."
I don't get people of your kind.
Oh, you
I
mean
don't any of you.
you mean
Don't get
butlers? Or
No, humans in general. It's just so vast a race.
yes,
So
yes,
stubborn.
are quite a lot of us. Stubborn. Well, I've heard that about some dwarves down in the.
I love how like the stubborn racist dwarf is like blaming all these
Yeah.
humans, like despicable.
He's
like
headed just
so
as bad as they are, but he doesn't know.
Yeah,
Intelligence of 1, -1. So
Yeah. And he says, "So you're going to be meeting with Baroness Bleak? That's quite a privilege." He's kind of leading you up a set of stairs at this point.
I guess. Who is that?
Who is this Baroness and
Oh.
what is her position?
Oh, you don't know? Well, that's quite exciting. Well, she is a very important lady, and she's in charge of Bleak Redoubt, which is a fortress up in the mountains. If you saw the big mountains coming in, it says kind of like
Yes.
to you to like almost as if like you're a child or you can't speak common.
No, did
Um,
not,
The big white mountains on the way in. Well, she lives there, and she commands the biggest army in the Broken Kingdoms, and so she's called for all of the other barons and baronesses around to have a meeting, have a little chit chat.
Well, why are we here and not there?
Well, you have to go to your rooms first. How rude of us would it be if we didn't show you to your rooms? And of course, she's a very busy lady. She's meeting with other people. Here's your room.
Thank you, great.
and then I keep continuing. All right, now bring us to her. Now I know where they are.
Yeah.
Like we open the door, we both step
Yep,
over the
close
threshold
it.
and then step out like we're done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
I
job,
like
good one, boys.
poke my head in, look around, go right. That's a room, and then I close it and go right. Now where is she?
Yeah, yeah, and he opens it, and he's like, he opens it again and says, and so there is a bed here, and there's a desk for writing here, and of course there's a wardrobe if you need anything. I put a few things which might fit your size, hopefully, in there. Let me know if I need any
I put a bear
changes.
paw
You don't
over
see my
his
camera,
face,
but I'm
just
blank
like,
staring at him.
just like-
Yeah.
I
Staring
just
at him
put the bear
blankly.
over his face, and I'm like, I believe
Ooh,
we are
that's
to see
Ooh.
Baroness Bleak
Oh,
now.
yeah. He like takes it off his face, and he's like, with actually surprising strength.
I'm not. I'm actually like. I'm just like.
He's into bears.
Shush.
No,
But,
yeah,
like,
yeah. You're not resisting, but like he's like, "Ooh," and it goes down. You're like, "Ooh." And he says, well, the meeting isn't actually until this evening, and so you'll need to find some things to do before she'll meet you. She's a very important lady, you see, and you are guests here, and so it's very rude to not see your host when she wants you to see her.
You know what else is rude? Slavery. Bring me to her.
It's like, it's just, oh man.
Quinn snaps his fingers like. Mm-hmm.
You know what else is rude and completely unrelated? Slavery. Now, bitch, take me.
Yep.
And he says, looks very confused. Well, I'm afraid she simply won't see. I can take you to outside her chamber where she will see you in several hours. You can wait out there if you
That'll
build up.
do.
Okay.
That'll do, donkey, that'll do.
That'll
Like-
do.
We
Yeah, so he leads you down like steps stairs, the corridors, nattering all the time until you come to a
I like what you've done with the drapes, by the way.
Thank you. See, no one ever notices this. That's why we need more faces like yours around here. And he leads you to like a big black wooden door, and which appears to be it's closed at this point, and there are kind of like pews either side for like guests to be waiting in. And he says, "So if you wait here for 2 hours, she'll see. If you need anything, just shout. I'll be around."
Is that your
Cool.
name? I'll be around. That's what you want us to shout?
No. My name is Cameron.
Cameron.
Yes. Near enough.
Cameron.
Camora.
So do I say Cameron or do I just shout? When
Either will probably do.
Just just keep shouting.
Yeah. He's like,
Who is
come
that
on.
guy?
either will do.
Late.
I'll stay close at hand in case you need anything. You sure I can't get you a drink or anything to eat?
I like pull my
Mug
hands
of
away
ale.
from. Don't stay near my hands. Go.
Yeah. When you say mug of ale,
Actually, I give him. I like unsatchel like my water skin.
And like fill this with beer.
I hand him and I'm like, fill this with water, and then I like go around collect all of the gnomes and I'm just like, fill this with water as well.
yeah, he's like, so I think it's best if the gnomes have not been invited, and so they'll wait out here, and they kind of like grumpily sit down. But you two can go in, and I'll do my best about that ale, and certainly the water. And Cameron runs off to fetch you your drinks.
The gnomes come with us. I've seen what you've done to the other gnomes in town.
Oh, there aren't really other gnomes in town.
Yes, I
I've
wonder
seen what
why.
you've done with the other.
Well, he's probably seen the
Racists.
halflings and thinks they're gnomes.
Yeah, like we would have seen like slaves, I imagine, around town. So it's
Yeah.
just like we're not leaving our people with you people.
Yeah.
What do you mean, you people?
Oh my god! You were like that. I have a friend who genuinely is like that, and I'm. It's the absolute hell out of me.
So yeah, he's like, very well then, and skitters off to go get some drinks.
Skitters off like a spider. Just when you say skitters off, I just picture.
he gets
hell?
he
You
grows
just
another,
vibrate away.
he grows another 4 limbs and goes onto his front
This
to
is full
skitter.
of demons.
So yeah, you're waiting outside this door.
Great.
Cool.
Should I
We
make a
both
survival?
stare at the door. Like, soon.
Yeah, we just stare at each other for hours until it starts.
We realize
Actually, I
it's,
probably
it's
sharpened
either,
my blade. Or try to.
we realize it's like a choice of like we can either stare at the door or we can try and make small talk. So
Yeah.
like by the time the door opens, there's two burnt holes where we've just been staring at it. Like,
Thank you so much, Winbjorn, for the host.
No. Cheers, Winbjorn. Winbjorn is actually playing us tomorrow in the West Marches games, which you guys can do as well. Come along and play some D&D with me every Thursday, 4 p.m. EST. And of course, if you guys are new, you can grab yourselves a copy of the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, which is here, giving away on Christmas Day, !giveaway, to go and get yourself a copy of that. And if you haven't followed, hit that follow button, join the adventure, and get up to date with all of our adventures. We're here Monday through Thursday. Oh yeah. So, he comes, brings you drinks, and then after a couple of hours, the door, like, you just hear like the bolt open. It just goes shunk. And you hear like a set of booted footsteps, but not kind of like heavy duty boots. These are like ladies' boots, like a high heel sort of thing.
Sounds
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah.
I imagine Orin just like smooths his hair back. Yeah.
It's on.
Yeah, he
So,
starts twirling his mustache up.
Right, here we go.
Oh no, he's a married man.
Oh yeah, I have a wife.
Ah, yes. Morals.
So there's no like. You're probably like waiting for like the door to open. It doesn't.
Cool.
Hello. And then I like knock on it with the hilt of my blade, or actually the tip of my blade, because I'm already sharpening it.
Just a tip.
Just the tip, nothing more.
Yeah.
I
When you
don't
knock on it,
scare
when you knock on it, it just like opens. It kind of opens up.
That's weird.
And I kind of like look with my eyebrow raised over at Quinn, and I slowly sheath my sword.
Nice. So as you look in the room, it's like a really nice office kind of room. It's kind of like the equivalent of the White House kind of
Oval Office.
in D&D essentially. So yeah, big desk, plenty of kind of ornaments, statues and stuff around, paintings on the walls, and
Berg flag and an
yeah.
Anasterion flag. Yeah.
Yep. And sitting on a chair is a woman.
Monica Lewinsky.
A woman probably about 50 years of age. She's kind of hard to age. She's wearing a black kind of gown and these black boots. And she's very, very pale skin, but she wears kind of red lipstick, which kind of pops, I guess. It really, really shows out her colours, as Cameron would say. And she sits there. She's actually has a quill in hand. She's writing some things. Doesn't appear to have opened the latch on the door. But she looks up at you as you enter. There's two chairs there.
Thank you, Michael Cody Duncan, for the follow. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Welcome to the adventure, my friend.
Welcome, Michael. Good to see you, my
Thank
friend.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I approach and I go,
Bleak, I presume.
She puts down the quill after kind of finishing a sentence, looks up and says, "Yes, that is me. Please, take a seat, Orin. Quinn?"
How do you know my name?
I raise an eyebrow.
I just sort of clasp my hand to my chest in a greeting and stand awkwardly.
Cool. So the gnomes kind of like follow in. They look completely out of place, very awkward. Like,
I mentioned like we walk
Clanging.
in and immediately like overtake her office. Like there's
Yeah.
gnomes like through her bookshelves and stuff. And we just like
They're just rifling through her
hey guys, we're
shit.
here.
All right, so this is going to be boring.
Yeah, they go through some literature, see what magazine she's
They're
around.
ripping pages out just to look at it.
Yeah.
Flipping through books.
So
Trying to have like a formal meeting.
yeah,
Shit's
yeah.
going on. I
She-
approach the like a sofa or something or some sort of chair, and I
Yeah.
as she requested.
Yeah. She says, "Well, information is my job, so knowing who you are is important. Seeing as you know things, which are important to me.
Which are?
You've spent a lot of time in the Underdark recently,
Regrettably.
and you know of, and I hear you have seen firsthand what is going on down there.
As when it comes to the demon.
I sort of point to Orin because Quinn wasn't actually there for the I can't remember its name, but he wouldn't know anyway. So
Draco.
yeah.
No, you mean
No,
Demogorgon.
the giant, whatever that fucking huge thing.
Demogorgon.
Demogorgon.
Yeah, that stepped on Draco.
Yeah. So yeah, she looks to Orin. You have seen this firsthand. We believe it to be related to our problems.
Really?
Yes.
I have.
Tell me more. She takes up a quill.
What do you know?
Very little. I wish to know more. So tell me what you do now.
Right. There is a big, two-headed creature. Seems to have a shortened nose bridge. Also, pointy teeth, two heads, two arms, two legs, no hands, instead they're tentacles. Also seems to be quite large, bigger than any camel I've seen. And it is large enough to squash the most largest of towns I've seen.
How many did it kill when you saw it?
Hundreds.
Good.
Not good. What's so good about that?
Keep talking.
I don't know what else to say. It emerged from.
How did it
the
affect
water.
you when you saw it?
I was very scared
Yes.
for my life.
Mhm.
I fled the scene and watched my fellow
Yes. So did
counterparts die.
it have an abnormal effect upon you? Is it this sort of fear normal for a man such as yourself?
Not that I know of. I mean, now I have a bit of a tick where I just.
Oh no, he says, not that I know of, and he takes out his blade, cuts a bit of his beard off,
Ah.
and he puts it on the table.
And he's like, "No, I think everything's fine." And he,
Yes. she
Sheathes his
looks
beard.
she looks up and scribbles something. I see. Any other strange things are going on in the Underdark of late?
Just the normal drows raided my village and taken my baby, but besides that, no.
Yes.
Nothing
Um,
out of the ordinary
Really?
that needs
I
to be worked
heard
upon.
word of a so-called Pudding King. Tell me more about this man.
He's dead.
I heard word of that.
I have contacts.
I understand the demon, but how about this Pudding King?
Tell me more of him.
Right,
He
he's
is
a
dead.
gnome. He's now dead.
Yes.
What
Don't
else
play
would
coy.
I do? I don't know how to play coy. Some sort of game you humans play.
What is it you offer us in return for this information?
Nothing at all. I'm simply having a conversation with you.
Then this is growing tiresome.
Well, I know where my room is, thank God, because I will
Well,
be retreating there.
And I
By all
push
means,
the chair
leave.
out.
She said, by all means, leave. Best of luck retrieving your daughter from Menzo Branson.
Good luck with whatever vile demon filth you have here.
He never mentioned Menzo Baranza.
Correct.
How do you know that name?
Like I say, I know many things. Information is my business. And so someone as connected as me could certainly be of help to
Right.
helpless individuals such as yourself, lost in the dark.
If
I
it's,
give her like a guttural growl, like of some sort of wild animal, and I
Sort
just
of
say,
bear, maybe.
yeah, it's sort of like that, and I just say, do not toy with us.
Oh wait, Forever Play is leaving for a second. He's gonna be back in a minute. Should we just pause the stream?
Yeah.
Pause everything? Did we stop everything?
Alright, we'll let you know what happens when you get back, buddy.
Yeah.
She says, well, you are mine to toy as I so please, but yes, I suppose I will tell you some more. We are planning an expedition into the Underdark.
Boy, I just turned my mic up. Don't worry about it.
For what purpose?
Seeking what is going on there. Seeing if we can stop the problem with the demons, because the demon infiltration in Atonica is clearly related to the madness of the Underdark, and we believe it's spreading here.
Nicholas Freakus, I'm sorry, I thought you were pausing. Thank you so much for the follow, buddy. Welcome to the adventure. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Do we want to do a slight catch-up for those? We have a bunch of followers today.
Yeah.
Sure, they may not know what's happening. Also, Jumper2008 would like to know. So,
yeah, so he's... welcome, Jumper. If you're new here, do hit that follow button. We're going to give you a quick recap for you guys who are new and you guys have been around here. So, we're playing Out of the Abyss. This is about session 7. They have travelled through the Underdark, seen Demogorgon, a huge demon there, been pretty scared, it killed one of their party members. They fled, escaped further into the Underdark, and they met an Illithid along the way. They went to Blingdenstone. They met the Pudding King there, defeated him and his oozes, and have now returned to the surface world, which is Atonica, the land of the Broken Kingdom, which you can see here on the map. They are here in Purg currently, which is like the Imperial City, and they're talking to Baroness Kier Bleak, who appears to be a woman in charge around here. She's one of the baronesses of the area, and she commands a very large army, and there's a meeting of the barons here, and she's just asking them about information about what they have seen, and she is apparently planning an expedition into the Underdark to figure out the source of the madness in the Underdark. And if you guys have watched the Broken Kingdom Season 1, which is one of our own D&D seasons, it's our very first one we ever did, you can find it on YouTube, then you would know that there's been a whole load of demon infestations in that series, and the Baroness believes it has to do with the Underdark and the problems going on there. If you guys know from playing and from watching the Broken Kingdom series, it also has a lot to do with Nilfheim and the Underworld, and a demon called the Moldark, who there was a whole lot of things going on there. It's very hard to recap the entire series, but essentially a lot of problems going on in Nilfheim, the Underdark, to do with the demon and Moldark, and so perhaps it has something to do with the Underdark and the problems going on there, or perhaps that is just an effect or a symptom of the problems actually going on with Moldark and the Underworld. So basically they're here to figure out how to save the kind of world, but most importantly, Orin, Cord's character, is trying to save his daughter, who's been captured by the Drow, which I probably should have said earlier.
That's right.
So yeah, that is his personal quest, to save his daughter from the Drow in Menzoberranzan. So I hope that was a quick little recap for you guys. Of course, if you're new, hit that follow button, join along. We're happy to do recaps every now and again if you need it.
We're 14 followers away from a viewer decision. For those of you who don't know what that is, we will start a straw poll. You guys suggest things we put in that straw poll. We will all vote on it, and we'll put it in the game immediately. This is a fun way to get everybody in chat to play along with us at the same time.
Yeah.
We have 14 followers away. Now 13, thanks to Jumper2008. Thank you. Welcome, my friend.
You're a gentleman and a scholar. Hey, we did that in sync. That was good.
That's right.
That's how close our bodies are coming. You guys are welcome. Yeah, if you guys ever have a question, feel free to ask it. If you ever need any help, then we're here to help. So yes, she says we think it has something to do with the problems that they are dealing with in Atonica and the demon attacks. And so I am hoping here with the assembled barons, to form a collective group expedition into the Underdark.
Right, well, it's funny you say that. I came here to get a group to get into the Underdark.
Well, it appears our desires are aligned.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, Josh, you said.
So we are probably heading into the heart of these problems.
Yeah, she says it appears our interests are aligned. Now, I need something from you two aside from information. The barons here are, well, warring, you see. Every now and again we do have the odd war, but as the need arises for unity, I find myself in need of those who can persuade, one way or another, and she gives you a kind of predatory smile, these people to work together. Now, I can't do it myself because I have my own political interests and I can't overplay my hand, but you two certainly have first-hand experience with the Underdark about convincing people of what you have seen, and of course you are people who know how to get things done. I think you understand what I mean by that.
I look at her and I'm like, I haven't read between the lines, so I look at Orin and I'm like, I think she thinks we are negotiators.
So
She
you're
obviously
saying
less than she makes on.
you don't know us, lady. All we've done is...
Well, I know you better than you think, Orin Lightbane.
Oh man, made me break character to smile. So, but all we've done is travel here. What do you mean we have talents that may...
Well, you're the only survivor, as far as we can tell, of the attack of Demogorgon. Therefore, you must be a man of certain resolve. You want to save your daughter more than anything, I understand.
More than anything.
Therefore, you will go to any lengths to get this done.
Aye.
You're a man with nothing to lose, Orin. You're a very dangerous man, and I like dangerous men. So, you will do as I ask. Because it will save your daughter. I promise to do as much as I can, which is not inconsiderable. If we can gain the full support of the barons here, we will have a substantial force to enter the Underdark. You would be, she points to you two, you would be lead explorers and guides on our way, and you would inform us of where to go, and of course, if there is a problem in Menzo Baranzan, demon or not, and she kind of looks pointedly, then perhaps we could convince some of the barons to send their forces there. Do we understand one another?
I believe so.
Understand that you are using his daughter as a bargaining chip.
Of course. Well, I'd be foolish not to.
It is not my choice to make.
What are you going to do about it?
No, I look at Orin. I don't give a shit what this woman
I
thinks.
thought you said that to her, sorry.
Oh, what did you say?
I look at Orin like it's not my choice to make. It's your daughter we're trying to save. I've fucked if I care about this woman.
Oh, we'll do what you say, as long as you promise that this will help. We will
She
get her
nods.
back.
We will.
I cut the palm of my hand and extend it for shaking. And I say, "You swear by the blood."
She takes it very quickly.
Did you cut your hand with your bear claw?
Yeah, I cut. Yeah, oh, that's so
That's
bad.
very
It's
cool.
like, shing. I also
Yeah.
make a particular thing of like, I have bear claws. Like, don't fucking
Don't
ask.
fuck
I don't
with
know.
me.
She like, she doesn't seem like, she doesn't seem
Phased.
surprised.
Yeah, no.
She kind of,
I imagine.
she
I
like
imagine-
nods as if she's heard about this before. Or
Yeah.
like, oh, it's true.
Do you have wild
Yeah.
shape yet?
Yeah.
Oh, you do,
Oh, yeah.
level 2 now.
Yeah, level 2. Sweet. All right, so
Oh.
now you can actually do things. By the way, guys, he got that bear claw from our last viewer decision, where we we all decided that every time he changes into one of his wild shapes, something will happen. He will keep a trait from that
Yeah.
animal.
Could be physical, could be something else,
Yeah.
but it's pretty.
So far, he's got a bear claw since when he jumped through the Illithid portal, or when we were transported.
Teleported
So that's
by
kinda
Illithid.
cool. Yeah. All right, so
Where do we need to go next? Point me where.
There is a meeting, about now, in fact, which we'll be leaving to. There you will meet the Everlords. I say a meeting, it's more of a dinner. An informal dinner, at which you will be able to meet these people individually and assess who you want to take with you. Of course, the more the better. Although there are several enemies there who do not get along too well.
You want us to choose sides in a conflict we know nothing about?
Yes, obviously. It matters not to me, you see. She says, but of course it matters to you not choosing sides. If you can, in fact, unite them, then all the better for you. For me, it only weakens their position. So if you choose a side, that works very well for me. If you can unite them, then it works better for you. Of course, I do have a vested interest in protecting the realm. And so I advise, for both our sakes, you try and look above the politics.
Right, I'm a bit. I think I'm a bit confused, but let's do this, I guess.
Not uncommon for your kind. Now come.
I growl at her again, and then I stand to... Actually, I haven't sat down, so I'm just like ready to leave.
This better work, bitch.
She turns on you, and as you say that, and she says, "I will have your tongue cut out if you say that again. Understand, Orin? You can still work just as well with your tongue cut out, but imagine your daughter would never be able to hear your father's voice again. So think about that wisely."
I turn to her and I say, "You lay a hand, my compatriot."
Oh, I won't
and
touch him,
will to pieces.
but my men will.
You're wasting
And you-
time. Don't we have a dinner to get to?
She smiles at Quinn and says, "Don't try and threaten me. You are a very, very weak person in comparison."
No threats are being made. We are, in fact,
Making
late
a
for
promise.
dinner.
And yeah, we head out.
Cool. So she leaves, and with you guys, there's actually Sergeant Reich outside, and she says, "Look out for these two. Any of them speaks out, make sure that they get their associated floggings, and we'll be on our way."
Floggings.
Yep. And
I think I'm gonna name a halfling thief flogging.
floggings. That's a good name, isn't it?
Hello.
My name is Flogging. Floggings. So yeah, he nods, gives you two like a dangerous look, and follows her as you walk through these corridors. You come open. You hear the sounds of music and laughter.
Cameron. I scream, Cameron. Cameron.
Yeah. Oh yes, here I am.
You were right about being there. You have my ale. To start early.
Yes, of course.
All right. I open the cap of my water skin and I just start squeezing it under my armpit and just chugging the whole entire thing. I'm not going to. That's a lot, but
Yeah.
I take a good amount of it.
Yeah. He looks kind of a little bit disconcerted, but you come into this big kind of chamber where there are rows of people drinking and eating. There's music being played. There are also people off into the corners who are there, keeping to themselves, not joining into the feast. There are also guards stationed all around here. There's a balcony above where there appear to be the majority of the kind of guards watching over. Not like obviously armed or anything, but they're clearly there watching, and you see Wright gives several nods to them. And everyone stops as Baroness Bleak enters, and she smiles thinly, gives a little kind of curtsy, and heads off into the feast. Cameron is by your side, and he says, "Well, I've been told to tell you a little bit about everyone who's here, who you might need to speak to. Has everything been made clear about the situation?"
I believe so. We have to try to get people to fight on our side, bring them into the Underdark. Some people don't like others, but best to get all of them. Figure out how to do it. Convince them. I don't know, something along those lines.
I see. Well, yes, of course. Well, if you look over there, you'll see a slightly older man with white hair and the white beard. You see him?
Yes.
Yeah, this guy is it's clearly a noble. He's a thick-set kind of older guy, probably about 60. And he says, "That is Baron Duncan Oxenhold." Now, you might want to write some of these names down because you're going to need to be speaking to these people, and it'd be awkward if you don't know their names.
I don't know how to write, but steel trap right up here.
Okay.
Duncan
Well-
Oxhold?
Duncan Oxenhold.
Okay.
No.
Are you
And he
writing
said-
this down? He says steel trap, and then he points over to Quinn. You're writing this right?
I mean, I'm writing it
Oh.
out of character, but are you writing it down, Quinn?
Oh. Quinn just wouldn't. It's, like he probably doesn't have writing equipment with him.
Yeah. He says he is referred to his soldiers as the Ox. He rules over Oxenhold, which is the pass between the Broken Kingdom and the Eastern Satrap, and so he's something of a hard man. I think the problem here will be convincing him that your problems and the problems of the Underdark are as anywhere near as bad as the problems facing in the kingdom at the moment, and of course that if they're at all related. You see, he has a fine force of soldiers, but getting him to commit them will be the most difficult thing. Any questions about him?
He's old and stubborn. I'm used to that. Continue. Who's that?
That's Baroness Adeline Shorkstead, something of a beauty. She is a very beautiful blonde woman. She's got pretty quick eyes. She seems she's very in the situation. She's very at home in this kind of social environment. He says, proud as she is beautiful and exceptionally unmarried. Her beauty draws many suitors to Shulkstead, of course. That is the town which she rules close to the Weald, which to you, he says to Orin, that's where we don't like to go there. That's where the orcs live, and the more unsavory types. We don't like to go there. She has something of a hard time, but she's rumored that the Baron of Oxenhold is very fond of our Adeline Shulkstead, and so if you won her approval, it might be easier to win the Oxes as well. Hmm?
I get it. Move on. Who's that?
How's it going, Lynx? He says, you see the fat man with the greasy hair and lascivious smile?
You mean the human? Who looks like that one over there? They're all humans to me. Continue. Who's that?
That's it's Baron Daniel Rembolt of Coaltown. Coaltown is a complex of mines. There are lots and lots of slaves there. Rembolt has grown very rich and fat in his manor house. He has a more mercenary militia force of soldiers, apparently. But he is a particularly unsavory individual. Not particularly a nice man, but a powerful one nonetheless. Any questions about him?
He's got a mine.
Yes.
Mercenaries fat because everybody does the work for him. Everybody being slaves who work for his mine.
Correct, yes. You seem to have
Yeah.
got the hang of that one. That, sitting next to him, is Baron Kimbard Chark. He's friendly with Rembolt. They are allies. You see a man, probably about 30 years old. He's got oily brown hair, kind of thin. And he says, Chark was a city to the south. Ping it here. But since the past few months, demon attacks, it has fallen, and so Chark has taken his remaining forces and fled here to Perg. He, well, he's something of the outlander when it comes to the barons, you see. He stays out of their way and everyone stays out of his way other than Rembolt. They trade in slaves and wine. The famous Charkin wine, which you can sample tonight. I will be sure to bring a jug of it over.
No, thank you. I don't like wine. Wine is for elves.
Well, very well. Perhaps
You like
then.
wine?
I look at you both and just
I'm
like,
talking to Cameron.
Do you like wine?
oh,
Oh yes, of course. Wine is.
I thought so.
Anyway, let's get back. The man standing on his.
But what about Quinn? Is Quinn? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But
Yeah,
I'm talking to him the whole time. Quinn, what are you doing there this time? It's you, Josh. Josh.
yeah, no, it's just sort of like, I'm not really like bothered by wine or anything. I'm just not liking all this politics.
Yeah.
It's quite
Okay.
quiet.
So he says, "You see the blonde, unkempt, nervous man with the pale blue eyes in the corner, standing next to the woman. Him over there. That is Baron Martin Kilgard of Kilgard. Pinged it on the map there.
Nice.
He's something of an, not a real noble. This man, like, he's got like kind of unwashed nobleman's clothes, and his hair is pretty unkempt. The Kilgards are an ancient family, but he is nothing of his ancestors. He's kind of been heavily influenced by the Eastern satrap as he lives on the border. He has a strong military presence in the east of the Broken Kingdom, and there have been worries that Jetsam, the town, the free city, one of the only free cities in the Broken Kingdom, is under pressure from him and the woman next to him, who is Baroness Muriel Markid. Now, she doesn't have her own city or town, Miss Markid. She's something of a self-made woman. You see how they collude with one another. Well, she has like long brown hair, fair complexion, but she looks fairly kind of stern. She's not smiling. These two are clearly kind of colluding in the corner. Miss Markid and Mr. Kilgard over there, they have something of a rivalry with Baron Daniel Rembolt, the fat one. They really hate each other. The closeness of Coaltown here, ping it, and Kilgard means that, well, they come to blows very often. There are many wars fought between the two baronies, and so Markid and Kilgard are not friendly with Rembolt and Baron Chark. So those two are the main adversaries there that you'll have to deal with. And thank you, Skagef, for following. Welcome to the adventure, my friend. I thought you'd followed before, Skagef. The name is familiar, but welcome, my friend. Gentleman and scholar, sir. And so he says, I think that's about all of them. Other than... Now, there are some groups involved. Not just the barons, you see. And this is why you might need to be writing these down. There are several factions at work here. You see the woman in the corner in the, well, one can only say daring black leathers.
Aye.
Well, she is an assassin. And before you worry yourselves, she's
Like
not
a
here.
drow.
I suppose so. Drow assassins? I didn't really know much about.
Things.
Right.
None
Well,
of them are nice.
Davra Jasser, just call her Davra or Dav. She is a blade for hire. She's probably the best assassin in Perg, but also, now get this, she has been into the Underdark, and she knows her way around there. Furthermore, Miss Bleak believes that she has many contacts here in the Underdark. She knows her way around, she has contacts, and she knows the location of the city called Mantle Derith in the Underdark. I believe that's the right pronunciation. You see the rolling R, the Derith. I believe it's undercommon. I've been learning a little bit myself. And
Good for you.
and he says, and now, from what I've heard of Mantle Derith from Dav, is that it is a free city for gnomes, illithids, drow, and all races. None are discriminated there. It is the only place in the Underdark, from what I hear, which this is the case. There are no weapons allowed within, and there is a strict code of law, which means that no one attacks one another. Whilst there, it is an excellent place to trade, and Miss Bleak believes a perfect center to launch your operations for in the Underdark. Now, seeing as Davra has so many contacts there, it might do you well to speak with her and convince her to come with you.
Like everybody here.
Like everybody here, but especially this lady in particular, because she has such certain information. But of course, the methods which you might procure her talents are slightly different. She is a blade for hire, so she's after gold, promises of riches, and danger, being an assassin. So, whilst of course your paltry funds will do nothing, you can of course promise a price.
You don't take chickens here in the overworld. All I have is bundles of poultry. You said
no.
poultry funds.
No, different words. Probably the language barrier. You see. No, we take gold up here.
The undercommon, sorry.
Not at all, my friend. So yes, she is there. The other group, which I think you will be interested in, I do apologize for the amount of names, but this is the last one. This group are known as the Harpers. Now you see those, well, mage-like individuals standing off into the distance. People don't really like mages here in the Broken Kingdom. You might
like a lot of things.
No, indeed. No, indeed. There are far too many odd sorts around, and people are scared enough as it is. Well, there are about 4 or 5 groups of mages in a corner. They're all bold. Think Circle of Mages from Dragon Age.
I believe someone posted an image of a bunch of bald people earlier.
Oh, really? That's great.
Yeah. They'll probably repost it again.
Probably, yeah. Oh, yeah, I thought I'd seen you before, Skagaf. And
Oh, I have it.
Visualize only needs 10 gold to become heroic. Good stuff. If you, I don't know if you followed already, Revisualize. I feel like you might have, but if you haven't, then you can get 50 free gold for by doing that. So yeah, she.
Harper's, right? Bald
Yeah,
mages.
Harper's. Yeah, and he says, now these people are actually, well, they actually patrol some of the Underdark. They're one of our only lines of defenses in the Underdark. They patrol, they make sure nothing odd is going on. Recently, of course, very odd things have been going on, and so they have returned to the surface world to tell us about us. This is one of the first signs that we had of change. And there is one other individual. Now, you have met this individual before, and there is a reason that this person is not in this room, and that is that everyone in the room would attempt to kill him or it. You have met an illithid in your travels, one of the Order of Enlightenment, yes?
I believe it's the Order of Brilliance.
Oh, yes. Sorry. The change in... I must just write there. Translation is difficult. Yes. Indeed. The Society of Brilliance. And,
Grazilox.
yes, he is here. In fact,
Steel
he is...
trap, like I said.
Yes. One of the ways which we have known so much about you, between you and I, is that he is here. And you can speak with him later,
he?
after the feast. He is in a private chamber. I don't want to tell you where he is just yet, because he... You know what illithids are like. Something of a secretive group, but... he fears his own safety here. And so, after the feast, we will go and speak to him if you so desire.
Right.
Now, that was a lot of names, a lot of information. Do you have any questions whatsoever?
Yeah, there's one man of the hymn.
And he points to the blonde guy.
His name is
Yeah.
Martin Kilgard.
Kilgard, yes.
And tell me he's nervous. He and Muriel have a rivalry with Coltown, right?
Yes,
So tell
so...
me more about that blonde guy.
So, yes, Kilgard and Market have a rivalry with Rembolt and Chark. So he is something you can tell by his attire that he's not really a true noble. Like Cameron's clearly a bit of a snob when it comes to like dress code. And he says, and he, well, very little is known about him, but his family is very old. He stays away from Purg, he stays away from the city, and from what we have heard about him, he's something of an odd sort. But like I say, strong military force, strong military presence. Personality-wise, he keeps himself to himself. He's something of an eccentric, if you can believe that, says one of the most eccentric men that you've probably ever met.
Yeah.
And that is most of what we know, other than the friendship between him and Muriel Marked.
Right. I just want to speak out of character. Will, is this in game? This encounter?
It's changed.
But it's like, but I mean, anyway, this is awesome. I'm like, this is so cool to.
Oh, thank you.
like
Yeah,
as
there
a roleplay thing.
there is a chapter called Audience in Gauntlgrim, Chapter 8, which is completely different.
Yeah, but
It's
you
actually
change
Bruin
it
or
to it.
Battlehammer is there, and he's telling you a bunch of stuff, and there are these different groups. So I took the
Yeah.
flavor of different groups and people and put it into the Broken Kingdoms,
Reskinned
and
it. Awesome.
yeah.
Very cool. So cool. All right.
Okay, so I think I know. But I think I got it. That man there is Baron Duncan, right?
Yes, Oxenhold, the
Yes,
ox.
The ox, yes, exactly. He can relate to us because, or at least me, because there are demons that are attacking.
True, true.
Also, same goes with Kimban of Chark.
Chark, yes.
But he is also allies with, you know what, I think I got this.
Yes, you seem to have a hold of it. Of course, I will be here at all times around, and I'll be off in the corner. If you need any reminders or any help, then I will be around.
Right. Quinn. Quinn Phelan of Clan Cain.
He appears to be in a...
He suddenly
drunk
realizes
state.
you stop talking politics, and then he's just like, huh? Oh,
Oh, it's me. Thank you, a Dragon Mage, for following. Welcome to the adventure, my friend Dragon Mage. You're a gentleman and a scholar, so if you guys are new here, haven't hit that follow button, join along the adventure like Dragon Mage. We're here every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 4 p.m. EST, playing D&D. Quinn.
cool. Right. So, could you repeat the question?
Are you ready? Do you know who we talk to first? Who's that?
And I point to the guy with white hair.
That is a man with white hair.
You keep drinking your wine. I'll try my
I drink. I take a sip of my water and I just curse him internally, but I'm like, just do the talking and I will assist you if need be.
I love how the druid's like, I don't do the talking, and the paladin tank is like, I do the talking. All right, so
Dude, I don't know what your charisma is, but mine's a
mine's
-3.
and
So
mine's average, and yours is -2.
oh yeah, no,
That's-
mine's -2. I've got 6 charisma though, dude. So you can do the talking.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I get the difference there as well is like Orin has a vested God damn,
Interest.
he's gonna get
yeah,
this
that's
done.
true.
Like,
Yeah.
even though he might hate it, he's gonna get this done. You know?
Yeah. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna go and approach. I'm gonna go and approach.
Who will it be? And our lucky winner for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is
Martin first.
Martin Kilgard. Excellent.
Martin Kilgard.
So yes, he is of course the blonde individual, unkempt hair, kind of shabby robes. He's standing next to the woman of long brown hair who is Baroness Muriel Marked, and they're kind of colluding in the corner. So I guess you walk up.
Quinn assists you. He walks up with you.
He helps you walk.
So, what brings you here, boy?
He kind of arches his eyebrows and sighs at the term boy. He kind of breaks off his conversation with Baroness Markid for a moment. And he says, greetings. Who are you?
I am Orin Lightvein of Gottlegrim, Paladin of Gottlegrim.
A dwarf. That's unusual. My name is
Not in these times, they're not.
Baron Kilgard.
I've gathered.
My business here is my own. But you know that we have been gathered here by Miss Bleak.
Aye, tell me,
Tell you.
what brings you the title of Baron?
My forefathers. They are now dead, of course. And I now take the title. It is inherited.
Right. Who are your forefathers? What have they done for this land?
I did not know this was an inquisition as to my family history. You can check the annals of old for greater detail here in the great library. But in a word, in a sentence, I suppose they'd say, they cleared the land of orcs and sent them back to the Weald in times of old.
So you, forgive me for intruding on your family history, but it seems us dwarves, we thrive on telling stories of old and of our fathers. So you're
Yes,
telling
I
me-
have freed many slaves and spoken to dwarves at great length.
So you're telling me your forefathers rid the land of orcs.
Sent them into the Weald, which is a land to the north. Are you not from here? I'll explain. The Weald is a unexplored land. We know not how far it stretches. Full of orcs and worse. That's where they live now. We keep them there.
Phone stuff is happening.
Sorry.
So, how would you like to relive those adventures of banishing a race of evil and reinstating your name as a baron and something that your sons and daughters can talk about long after you're gone?
What race do you
Annals.
speak of?
I speak of the dark elf that live below our very feet.
The whispers are that we are to venture to the Underdark. I suppose you would have me do this with my forces.
What was that? Sorry.
He says, I suppose, he says he's heard of expedition to the Underdark and he supposes that you want him to take his forces down there with him, essentially.
Aye.
He says, well, I do have many forces, and if it can help the problem here, then yes, I would pledge some, but you see that fat man over there, drinking?
You speak of Daniel Remble.
I do. He says, long has been a rivalry between my house and his.
Aye.
And I would see that any glory involved in ridding the land of, well, this evil and the demon attacks would not go to him.
Aye, but of course.
So if I am to pledge my forces, I need your reassurance that him and his friend Chark will be less involved or not involved at all.
From what I understand, he doesn't fight battles himself. Has slaves to do that for him.
You listen.
Would you concede to have some of his forces along?
I would, if they were
Retrosphere donated £1. I wasn't sure if you guys are aware, but I'm still here.
How's it going? It's good to know you're still about. Tallest Buffalo also asks, is this a 2-player campaign? It is. It is, mate, yeah.
Yep, so far.
We might get another
thank
player
you,
in at
Reg.
some point. We are like
Yeah,
7
maybe after the
sessions
new
into
year,
this.
possibly.
Yeah. Yes, so, and the woman next to him steps in. This is Baroness Muriel Market, and she says, I would similarly pledge my forces. And she actually like places an arm on Kilgard's like she kind of links arms with him. If Chark and Rimbolt were not involved, we would concede to taking some of their forces under our own command, of course. If you could get him to do that.
That's easy. That guy's never lifted a finger in his life. Look at him. Stuffing his face full of that bird.
But he's proud.
So
And
what?
dangerous as well.
Even
so be
the
careful.
most proud can break. Watch me.
Very well, Lord Dwarf.
So he strides next over to Kimbart. Kimbart of Chalk.
Mhm.
And, what were you gonna say?
Buffalo says the stats are crazy strong. What edition is this? We're playing 5th edition. Stats aren't particularly strong. For some reason, the strength is 14 plus 21, which is incorrect on the overlay thing. But yeah, level 2, 23 HP,
yes,
19
that's
AC,
14 plus
Dwarf Paladin. Pretty
Or
standard
14
stuff,
plus 2,
Buffalo.
sorry.
Plus 2, yeah. So the stats are average to good for 5th edition. And of course, they're both playing melee characters, so
I see the problem.
yeah. So
Fixing as we speak.
you stand next to Chark, who's a kind of oily, brown-haired man drinking. The thin guy next to the fat man, Rembolt.
Yes.
He kind of looks up. Oh, a dwarf. Daniel, look, a dwarf, and he's freed. And the fat man, Daniel Rembolt, looks over and says, yes, look, a freed one, they're always fun. What brings... Who let you in? Oh, and an elf as well.
Ratchetsphere donates another £1. Dungeon run!
Hey!
Let's do ourselves a dungeon run. Does this mean all in, like we did last time? Probably.
No, it didn't say all in.
didn't
Like,
say
I
all in.
didn't say all in before then.
But
but I'm
dungeon
gonna-
run happens all the time, though, so...
I'll throw 1,000 in.
I'll throw 10,000 in.
Oh no! Oh no! We can't. Yeah.
Oh, we
but
can't yet.
I'll
Okay.
I will remind everyone. I said.
Thank you so much, Reg. If you guys want to
Thanks.
play with us in real time, scroll down to that donate section. You guys can. We've got a system that you guys can donate, play along with us, do crazy stuff to the game. All right, so
Yeah,
Look,
they
take
kind
a
of...
good look at me. There is not a tattoo upon my body. It's not been stained by your filth. I am not a freed slave.
We can change that, get a good price for you down the markets, I'm sure. Looks like it'd be a good worker in my mines.
Why don't
and-
you continue stuffing your face?
Oh, I fully intend to.
I see that. I see that. Now, please, continue enjoying your meal. This is not meant for you.
thank you, Tallest Buffalo. Thank you so much for the follow, my friend. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Welcome. To the adventure.
I turn to Orin and Quinn says, "Let us leave this man to his food, Orin. Clearly, he has no interest in the glory of the realm." And I turn to start leaving.
Yeah, he lets you go. But I guess like you immediately like in front of Baron Chark, Orin, the thinner guy. And he says, you wish to speak to me? What
I
about?
do.
I saw you colluding in the corner there with the
Of course,
others.
I just, of course, exchanging pleasantries. Figured I'd come by and see
Really, you
what
do.
was-
You don't seem like the sort to exchange pleasantries. If you mind
As I
me
like
saying
pick
so.
some like twig out of my beard,
Yeah.
like some like try to like brush a clumped mud.
Like you like scratch your beard and moss falls out.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
Yes, so, I heard they were telling me over there that you guys have seen, you of Chark seem to have some attacks as of late.
Yes, I have actually lost the city of Chark for the time being, but fear not, we'll get it back in time.
I have seen the city fall as well, to demons.
Really?
I have. Tell me, what did you feel when you saw the buildings that you wish and the society that you have grown from your hand and sculpt?
I saw all
fall
the
before
money.
your eyes?
I saw all the money from my wine going away. Now I only have a paltry amount and what men I have with me. But I am still rich, and there is money to be made here, so I will return to Chark in due course.
You may return to Char, but how about we stop maybe this from happening to further cities and settlements? How about you lend us some of your forces and we go and deal with the demons below?
I tell you what, you want some of my troops, that's fine. It's going to cost you, of course. But I will not have... You see the Ox and... so you see Kilgard and Marked. We're not too friendly of them, you see. So, perhaps you should take a lot of their forces away. Perhaps you should take a strong force from their garrison. I would strongly advise that. We can't have them messing around here in my lands, you see.
I understand. They say that they will. They are not. Have not given me yet a response.
Are you just lying to them?
Yeah,
Because, roll me a deception.
I have advantage.
You do have advantage. Alright, also dungeon run, boys.
Oh, ready? Cool.
Yeah. This is for Ratch's donation. Going over the 10k.
Boom.
Nice, yeah. So he says, very well. Well, I suggest that you say to take a large amount of their forces away from Kilgard and Marked's territories. And tell them that I am willing to lend my aid as well and send some troops with you.
Persuasion?
I nod.
Right?
It should probably be deception because you were just lying to them.
Deception. Yep.
But I'm happy to take the roll. I mean, your bonus. What's your difference in bonuses to deception?
I didn't roll yet.
I saw a 15.
That's from before. I persuaded someone before. Remember, I got a 7.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's from.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. 15. No, same.
There we go. Same again. Also nice. Nice dungeon run, boys. See, when you donate for dungeon runs, they always go well. It's confirmed.
Except for me. Did I win? How did I do? Oh, I'm not even listening.
Good for you, mate.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Good for just Will.
So
Hang on.
yeah, he says he's happy to pledge his forces if you take a large amount of Kilgard's and Market's forces away from their own territories.
Right. Thank you. Just sign here.
And I kind of just give him a blank piece of paper.
He put
No
the
names on it yet.
Yeah, he signs his name.
Thank you.
A pleasure.
May I borrow that pen? That quill?
Yes, of
Thank you.
course.
And I go over to Quinn and I go,
Quinn,
I wanted. Yes.
Quinn, can you write? We'll pledge force to help the good of the overworld.
and I hold up the paper and the quill.
I write yes at the top, I do write. I write yeses.
I need you to write that statement right across here.
And I take out the quill and I cross it out and I go,
Please write that. I can't write. I've never been taught how.
I write out it's bad handwriting, but it's legible. And
Very cool.
Okay.
and then I,
Thank you.
and now I head over to Rambolt and I go,
So your friend Chark over there. He says
Yes.
he's in.
Really? That's interesting. Did he say why?
Well, because he's seen his city fall, and so have I, due to demons. We can relate. So I just want to know if you are in. If you're
Don't
not,
believe that for a second, Dwarf. Is it more to do with the fact that Markid and Kilgard are pledging lots of their forces and so taking many troops away from their own lands?
That's exactly what he said.
Exactly.
Quinn's really good at this negotiation business.
Yeah. Good, good. Yes,
Yes.
I will pledge a small force.
thank you. That's all we ask. We don't want you to
I have a question.
be overworked. It seems
yes.
like you're busy enough.
As
You
I
have a
spit
question?
as I say those words.
What is your interest in their business?
My business is my own. Join my troops or not.
Sign here.
Say, as he signs, I say, you seem a man who likes to keep an eye on his friends and his foes.
And your food.
Indeed I am. And he signs.
Say,
Caro, is that you?
if they find themselves certain artifacts of the Underdark, we are talking of a demon here, the sort of power that is not usually wielded by mortals. Would you see that fall into one of their hands and not stake your own claim? With a
I've
measly
signed-
force deployed?
I've signed already.
We thank you. Enjoy a meal.
Yes, be gone.
Hey,
I sigh.
slow
Cool.
down. You're eating a bit too fast. Don't want to see you choke on that bird leg.
So the part, like the kind of feast is still very much alive.
Yeah.
You've already spoken to 4 of the
That's probably the hardest part of this whole thing, I think, is those 4. Who knows? It's not complete yet, but I mean, I've got
Yeah.
a pretty good feeling about that. I'm gonna go over to Duncan Oxenhold, the white-bearded, long-haired, Nordic-seemed guy. Thank you so much, Magna God.
Magna Gerd for following. Welcome to the adventure, my friend. You're a gentleman and a scholar, sir.
I got
Will
food shoved in
Whibbler.
my face.
Will Whibbler hot saves.
How about you?
I cooked it for like 10 minutes.
No, it's good.
Are
Hey,
you
Rach.
sure?
Will says hi.
Make a constitution saving throw.
Rachel comes free with every follow, so
Yeah.
an appearance from Rachel. So thank you, Magna Guard, for following.
All right, sorry. She was like, "Is this done yet?" She's just really worried about cooking chicken.
Yeah, I am the same.
Yeah. So I'm always, of course, the guinea pig. So,
Put this in your mouth.
put this in your mouth. Okay.
Uh,
So yeah, I go up
Oxenhold,
to
yeah.
Oxenhold.
Baron. Oxen.
He looks up from his mug of ale and his kind of jovial smile kind of fades as he sees like the dwarven elf kind of unexpectedly in front of him, and he says, "Yeah, yes."
I actually
You have a second,
then I grab a mug nearby and I squeeze some ale from my water skin into it and I
Yeah.
hold it up for a cheers.
Yeah, he says, "Cheers."
Cheers.
Don't get many dwarves and elves around here, especially freed ones. What's your business at such an occasion?
Well, I best make it a good encounter then.
He kind of nods his head. Yeah. Yes.
Like I said, let's start this off on a good note here.
And I reach up and cheers him again, and then sip my drink. And as the foam is still running down my beard,
So, from what I hear,
sorry, dinner's being made behind me. Sorry,
I'm
everyone.
sorry,
It's okay. It's okay.
No worries.
Everybody in chat says hi as well, Richard.
Oh, hi everyone in chat.
All right, so thanks, Ratch. So he says,
From what I understand, you're having a bit of an orc issue.
Oh, yes, an orc issue, a demon issue, and my rheumatism's playing up.
Yes, well, we seem to have an issue with demons as well.
Yes, I've heard the report about the Underdark and the so-called demon lord within. As to whether or not we believe this has any connection to our problems, well, that's something else. My forces are spread thin.
You don't think the hive of these demonic minds rests within the heart of our sacred Anasturui? Nah.
he tries to butcher's Anasterion.
Yeah, he says, I am a mere man of this world and of no others. I see what I see before me. And, well, it could be any other matter of 1,000 things causing this problem. Whether or not it is indeed this thing which has been cited, I don't know. Well, I know no one who has seen it themselves, and so sending forces on a wild goose hunt seems like a foolish idea.
Like a true human, you only perceive what is put in front of you. You don't think about the consequences of things you cannot see. Out of sight, out of mind. What if I told you
Okay,
that
bye.
I have seen
Okay, bye.
that
Yeah,
I have
thanks, bye.
seen this threat, this hive mind.
You have you? Well, you're
It's called
Not a-
Gorgon. It is quite a beast, taller than the tallest building here in Berg. Its arms are riddled with tentacles. Its maw is two. Its eyes are shared by two collective brains. It has two heads. And like I said, it is even bigger than you. And you are one of the biggest I've seen in a while, my lord.
And he nods his head.
I said, you have a simple choice. You can accept that this is related to your current troubles, and you will send forces to remedy the situation. Or you can accept that this is a new situation, one that will soon eclipse what you have currently faced, and therefore you send forces as well.
roll me perception checks, and you can have persuasion checks in, and Quinn can assist.
I'm gonna take my advantage now, and can I say, like, I roll?
Yeah.
It's not Gorgon, it's Demogorgon. Rat's not Gorgon from Small
Nat
Soldiers.
20! Like a boss.
Nice.
Organites.
Nice.
Yeah, he says, well, I've seen my fair share of soldiers who have told me stories, and you seem like you really have seen something. Perhaps I can pledge a small force to there, but you understand, my forces are also spent protecting Shulkstead and Baroness, name check, Adeline Shulkstead,
I understand.
as well as my own keep.
I hear she is having a bit of an issue with the orc as well.
Yes, they raid when they can. We've heard of a king. His name apparently is Krug. Orc King Krug, as they call him. Apparently he has a hold in the Weald, a city of sorts called Garod. If that's how they say it in Orcish, at least. I'm too old for such things, but he is a pressing matter as well. But I will do what I can.
Sign here if you would. And believe me, this is for the good of your land as well as mine.
He nods as he signs. Thank you. What is your name?
My name is Orin Lightvein of Gauntlegrim. And remember, just because you don't know doesn't mean it's not there. We are a city just like yours.
He smiles, he kind of grins. I see. And you are of Atonica, it seems like, elf.
The elf is
Sorry,
muted.
muted.
Yeah. The elf is deep in thought.
So, my name is Quinn Phelan of Clan Cain, and I would see this evil thwarted for that of my clan and that of his daughter.
He nods. Very well. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have more drinking to do.
That's the
I-
spirit.
I'm not-
I agree with you there.
Cool.
And I walk over, still drinking. I cheers him again, and I start
Yeah.
drinking a bigger gulp. And as I do, I stride over to Adeline, and then from there I go
Adeline.
as I take the mug away from my mouth.
She's quite
Foam still running down.
she's quite enchanting to look at. She smiles brightly.
Probably drool a bit of foam onto my face, and I wipe it off.
How are the raids? Are they getting any lighter, heavier?
The rain doesn't appear to be raining outside.
Raids.
I'm sorry.
King Krug. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, I'm sorry. Who are you two? I am Adeline Shogstead, Baroness Adeline
I know.
Shogstead.
I am Orin Lightvein of Gauntlegrim, a city that you may not know anything about, but we are in danger just like you and your lands.
Right. Well, you seem to have a very stern countenance, Orin. How can I help ease your brow? A drink, maybe? Some wine?
I've got this. No wine, thank you. You could fill this up, though.
And he probably fills it with like a different ale that is nearby, mixing with the ale that he already
Yeah.
had.
Always mix.
Always mix. Never a bad idea. And
He goes, I heard that King Krug is a bit of an issue for you. Have the raids increased?
I'm afraid so, ever since this so-called king,
Aye.
as he calls himself, has come to pass. Yes, more and more of Oxenhold's, old Oxys, troops have had to be assigned to Shogstead to protect us.
Aye. Well,
You wouldn't be in the business of adventuring, would you? I'm looking to hire adventuring types who could sort out problems and guard my town.
I am on a bit of an adventure myself.
Oh, how interesting.
Yes, it actually involves. I don't know if it's. I usually don't do this, but do you have any children?
No, I am unmarried. Yeah, like you look around, there's a bunch of suitors all around her, like young nobles, clearly trying to like listen in, trying to be like, hey, hey.
yeah.
Are you fond of children? Do you someday have some of your own?
Well, I suppose to be very, very forward, Master Dwarf. I suppose
I'm no
one day
suitor.
to.
Believe me, I am happily married.
I'm happy to hear it.
Just a simple question.
Yes, she says, to one day continue my line. Yes, I will have offspring. Once I find an appropriate suitor, and she flashes a smile around at the suitors.
They're all like, "Oh my god, they fangirl." They fangirl and faint. Well, a silly girls. Look, there she goes. Her name is Adeline. And so he goes,
Well, I recently had a daughter of my own. Her name is
Happy
Mithila.
for you.
Thank you.
Pretty name.
Thank you. It's a strong name for a very pretty girl. She It's right in the crook of my arm. Right here. I could just see her now.
And I take another sip of my beer, or the ale that in the mug, and I start like gesturing as if she is in my arms.
Yeah.
Her eyes are, if you can imagine this, green. The big green eyes with auburn hair that flows down her back. She's quite cute. She has quite the little laugh that can make the sternest of savages can't help but giggle.
She sounds a
Quinn,
delight.
just single tear.
She is the most darling thing that I've ever seen, and best thing to ever have happened to me. But you're wondering where this is going.
Well, somewhat, yes.
She
Do you
was
need
taken-
someone to give her a
She-
job?
No, she was taken from me by raiders. Much like your raiders.
Orcs?
No, much worse. Drow. They are the more evil than elves themselves. They stop at nothing to see what they need to get done. They sacrifice the most beautiful things on this earth and on this world to their spiter god. And they must have something to do with these demonic attacks.
Forgive
Because
me,
they-
but they sound not so unsimilar to men such as yourself, Orin. People who would stop at nothing.
I will stop at nothing, but I am not going to sacrifice children to get what I want for a belief. I'm not going to raid a town and steal for fun and sacrifice. I need
If
to
it
get
meant
them
saving
back.
your daughter, I believe you would probably do anything. But
That is why I'm here talking at a political party, trying to convince those I know nothing about until moments ago to try and help my cause.
yes, it is rather odd to see a dwarf here. Very well, how can I help, Orin? Your cause seems just.
I just need a fraction of your guard to come on my expedition. I will be leading into the Underdark and quelling this evil from within. I know that on top here on the overworld there is some sort of demonic presence, and I know it probably has come from deep within. And I will stop at nothing to get my daughter back, but in a more broader term, I can't help. I can't let my daughter live on in a world that is corrupt by a demonic force. So of course, that needs to be quelled as well.
Understandably, yes. Well,
And for you someday, I hope, whenever it shows up, you are ready for this offspring and for this beautiful baby to be brought up in a world that is not swarmed by this evil.
maybe one day soon, and she flashes another smile around at the suitors. She says, but yes, listen, Orin, I have... What small forces I have are to protect my people, whom I love as deeply as you love your child. However, I will, if we can come to some kind of agreement, pledge some. Nothing in this world is free, and
Well,
I have... Yes.
if you cannot spare men, if you have any riches, or what do you have gold up here? Is that the thing you guys do?
And I kind of like look at Quinn.
And I'm like, is gold a currency? Do you?
Quinn looks at you like, I don't fucking know.
She
Oh yeah,
nods.
it's true. You don't ever come into town.
Yeah, she does. Yes. But listen, if I agree to pledging my forces, would you agree to help me in return with the orc problem in the future?
I can do that.
I pledge my allegiance to you.
But maybe if you need to, like I said, you know what? Let's backtrack. I'll take gold. There are far more people here that I need to convince to help us go along our way. But I come from nothing, just the words of those who will pledge their forces. I have 4 barons who will help. If you have any, and I know that you need your forces to quell off these and defend your land. But if you have anything, any riches you can spend or even pledge towards us, so I can maybe convince others here who are a bit more greedy.
Yes, very well. That seems fair. I will speak to Baroness Bleak, who I believe has sent you on this task, if I am correct.
Aye.
About funding.
Thank you.
She nods.
It was a pleasure meeting you, milady.
And I can't help but kiss her hand.
Yeah, she takes it. Yeah, she holds out it.
She takes all of it.
Takes like a bitch. Yeah, she takes it with like a pretty smile, and
You got a purty mouth.
You've got a pretty mouth.
So I go over to Quinn.
I want to kiss your face.
I go over to Quinn and I roll up the paper, and as I walk by, I hand it to him and I like flick my nose, and I give him the quill too, and I like flick my nose towards the or like point towards the 2 that haven't signed, Marielle and Martin.
Yeah.
And then because I just feel as if the other 2, Rambolt and Chark, are probably watching my move. So I give that to him, and I go,
there are more signatures here that are not on yet. Find who hasn't pledged. Or find who has pledged but hasn't signed.
and then I walk over to, what's her face, the assassin girl?
Davra.
Dabra. So yeah, I go over to Davra,
Yeah.
and
Black clevers.
yeah.
Short black hair.
What is a lady like you dressed in armor in a place like this? This kind dinner between friends and colleagues and other cohorts.
She laughs and looks you up and down. I could say the same of yourself, Massadorf.
Well, I can tell you why. I have yet to rest from my expedition from within the Underdark, from which I hear you are familiar.
Intimately.
Yes, I as well. You know of some sort of city where no attacks can be made, maybe a place where we can...
Yes,
So let me
Mantle
back up.
Derif.
Mantle Derif, let me back up. I have an expedition to go back into the abyss.
Yes, I've heard about this. She's at all times. She kind of keeps.
Yeah.
She doesn't really make eye contact with you. She's got her eyes scanning the crowd most of the
Yeah.
time, and then she makes brief eye contact and looks at me.
I have an expedition to go back into where I'm from, these caverns of the Underdark. I am an okay guide, but I have never heard of Mantle Derif. And I assume you've been there once or twice. Am I wrong?
Once or twice.
Aye. Well, how's it that you bring us there again? For the right amount?
For the right amount, I would be happy to.
Sure. What is your price?
10,000 gold.
I can do that.
She raises an eyebrow. When do we set out?
We set out maybe in a day or two. I'll let you know by the end of the meeting.
Before I agree,
Hmm.
she says, "Do you have any personal interest in this?" I assume you must.
Oh, definitely. My daughter was taken by the Drow. The Drow have been acting up as of late. And
I
they
see.
seem to sacrifice things to their demonic god. Also, not a far path to stride away from the demonic attacks up here, as well as the entire town
Yes,
that I've seen
yes,
desecrated.
you don't need to convince me of why this is probably a good idea. I simply wish to know if your judgment might be clouded. You see, when we go down there, I will be leading the way.
Aye.
You will not deviate from my path. You'll do exactly as I tell you. And if you do deviate from that path, then I will leave you alone in the dark.
Aye. I'm not sure if you know, but dwarves are excellent as sightseers in the dark.
Maybe so. But you still need me as a guide, and you don't know where you're going.
Right. I don't.
And I like tuck the maps that I already have
Yeah.
in farther in the pocket.
Yeah.
Fine.
Right, yep, you're right, I don't know. I understand.
I'm glad we understand one another. Now I'm sure you have some other people to round up.
I do. I will be back. My colleague will be around with the paper for you to sign.
Cool.
If you
Hi,
don't mind.
Quinn walks over and displays parchment like he's got
Quinn
the
the
other
Quill.
signature.
Yeah.
she-
Hello. And
she
then
signs.
next I go to the Harpies, or the Harpers.
Mhm.
The Harpies. Ah!
This is awkward. How could... Oh, jeez.
Bunch of flapping birds in his face. So yeah, and I head up to the mages. The bunch of bald mages.
There are about 4 or 5 of them, wearing
Fair
robes.
Gentlemen,
As I like finish the last of my mug and I kind of place it down.
Yeah. They turn in unison.
oh god. It seems you guys have been in the Underdark before.
Orin Lightfane. A pleasure to meet you. One of them, they bow deeply in unison.
Pleasure to meet all of you. I am a paladin of
Moradin, yes.
yes. I come from a land called
Gauntlgrim, we know.
I'm looking for my daughter. Her name is
Yeah, I've forgotten your daughter's name. Mithralis or something.
Mithrila. Yeah,
Mithrila,
so
Mithrila, yes.
well. So I guess you don't need me to explain myself and why I have approached you.
No. You do not.
Do you wish to come along?
No. But we will.
Right. Do you know of a certain someone named Grazilox?
Yes.
Give him my regards.
and I turn and walk away.
Oh, you'll be seeing him soon. His eyes look very distant.
It's a pleasure speaking with you. Harpers.
They bow.
I bow back. Fucking
Nice.
creepy. And then I walk over to Quinn, whatever, same thing at this point. I go to Quinn and
He's a walking
Quill! Quinn, how is...
Gwen,
Let me take a look at the parchment.
I hand you the parchment.
Are all the names there?
Yep,
Yeah.
they
I've collected all the names that, yeah.
they would have signed Chuck and
Cool. I quickly
Keep
roll it
going.
up and put it in my back pocket next to my maps.
yeah.
And I guess wait around for the dinner or I just actually head over to the table and start shoving my face full of food.
Nice. Quinn, what are you doing at this feast?
Quinn's just been sort of heading round and collecting signatures, and
Yeah.
sort of once it's done, he sticks to like the meat and like
Just,
he, you know, yeah, he's pretty amount of sympathy for this, but he's like doesn't get the custom, like everyone's like eating and he's just like, I'm not hungry, I'll have it later. And he like starts like cutting off like
Hoarding
sticks
it.
and hacking them away. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so they like at some point or another, Cameron actually comes round to the two of you, and he's like, "Come with me." Like Quinn, he saved you from like a socially awkward situation.
Will, who did your map? Arced Lightning or something?
His name is Arced Lightning, I believe. Yeah.
Arced Lightning.
I have him on Skype somewhere.
Yeah. He actually did the map. But everything else, he did the Anasterian map. But everything else is pretty much my stuff. But thank you anyway. But as if he was here, thanks. Someone said nice map, and I was like, this is awkward.
Yep. Everyone always says it looks like a map of Ireland, literally every time.
Yeah, it's an Irish flag.
Yeah. Yeah, Cameron comes, brings Quinn with him and says, "So you have all of the signatures that you required. Good work, everybody. Excellent work. You are clever." And he scraggles your chin beard a little bit,
Please
Orin.
don't touch me.
As I'm still eating.
Oh, that is rough.
Great. Please
Sorry, I got
like it
distracted
rough.
for a moment there. so he says, "So, Baroness Bleak has said if you wish to speak to Grazilas, you can, seeing as you've done so well."
Right. Show me this. Elitha. Where's the mindful here?
Keep your voice down. And he
You can hear me.
He puts like a lip to your fingers to your lip. Come with me. He leads you guys out of the feasting hall, and up.
It opens the door and there's another feasting hall and it's just like brains all over the place.
Just Grazilax with a huge. He's like, no. I actually, I'm like,
excellent.
1 second, and I run back and I grab more food and start picking on it as we walk.
Nice. So he leads you up flights of stairs to a just a door similar to one of your rooms, and actually
1 second.
sure thing.
Actually, no, you do your thing. I'll be right back.
Oh.
Sorry.
And so he opens the door, which is exactly the same as your guys' rooms, and you actually see an Illithid sitting on a bed, which is probably the oddest thing, the oddest person to see in this situation would be an Illithid in like a normal person's like bedroom. It is completely juxtaposed. It's very, very odd to see Grazilax just sitting here, the purple Illithid, of course, the tentacles going on down his face, just sitting here rather placidly. And he looks up, and Cameron, he said, "Well, I'll leave you to it," and he closes the door. "Knock if you need me."
Probably not. Thank you. You've done enough.
So yeah,
You've done enough damage.
you've done enough.
But it
Grazilax.
touches the dwarven beard.
Nobody touches it all. The Grazilax just looks up.
I suggest I assume I don't need to say anything.
You hear a voice
He
in your head.
thinks.
Yeah. You hear the voice in both your guys' heads. "It's good to see you again."
It's a bit
It is.
unnerving to see you, but a pleasure, I guess.
What business does the Order of Brilliance have here?
The society had me warn the people of Atonica as to the madness in the Underdark, informed by your information. He kind of savors the word.
It is good to see we receive so much credit. He gives Quinn sort of kicks the floor
Yeah. He doesn't say anything.
What aid would you be able to provide us with?
He kind of like shuffles about in your head, almost like Kai would be familiar with this feeling.
Yeah.
Once again, you hear him hear his voice within your head. You don't actually see his mouth move or anything. It's very disconcerting. He says, "I can offer some transportation when in need, if you
Yes, of
call
course.
upon me."
Scouts. I like turn to Orin to sort of like make this suggestion, like it would be handy to be able to move scouts more freely if in a pinch.
Correct. What do you wish from us, Mind Flayer?
Nothing. I have all that I need now.
And what's that?
Information. If Illithids could smile.
Yeah. Probably
I
like his
say,
eyes smile. Talus
Yeah.
Wind. Thank you so much, Talus Wind, for the follow. You're awesome. You are a gentleman and a scholar, my friend.
Tell us also stream some D&D.
Nice.
I say,
Welcome, my friend.
you are interested in the information to be gained in our conversations. Who will be deploying what?
Doesn't say anything.
I turn to Orin. I'm like, I feel that even my limited vocabulary and conversational technique pales in insignificance. Maybe we should leave.
Well, it seems. So you just brought us here to talk about the possibility that you may transport us.
I came here to tell the kingdom of what is going on here, in case you did not survive.
And I thank you. It's helped an immense amount. We owe you a lot, actually. I believe we still owe you a favor.
The society notes this.
Orin internally face palms. He's aware that the Mind Flayer feels it, but Orin doesn't.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a very awkward conversation. Like, the
Yeah.
Illithid has literally no people, like, social skills. It just sits and looks at you with
Yeah.
cold, dead eyes.
And we're
Yeah,
not
also,
very
this is
social
brilliant,
people
like,
either.
I love the idea that Cameron at some point pokes his head through and we're
So
all
how's
just
everything
staring at
going?
each other in silence.
Yeah.
made dip.
At this point, Cameron comes in with a couple of jugs of wine and says, "So here's that wine I was talking about. Would you prefer the red or the white? Or I do have a rosé out back if you really do insist."
nobody likes rosé. And do we look like human mothers? Middle-aged
No,
human mothers? Then we don't want your rosé. Get that out of here.
you know a lot about humans for your. He said,
Done a lot of judging. I walked right by the pub and I saw everybody with a rosé and they were all white girl wasted.
Yeah, he said, "No, of course. Right, I'll just wait out here."
Right?
Is there
So-
anything left to discuss?
The Illithid doesn't say anything.
I leave the room.
Surprise.
Yeah. The thing is, he can like tell everything that you guys are thinking. So if like he had any questions, you've already
Literally,
answered
this
them.
is one of those things where it's a conversation for our benefit, not for his, because
Yeah.
he already knows what we're going to say in response to stuff. He doesn't need to ask us questions, so it's
Yeah.
like, if we don't need anything else.
Okay, bye.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, thanks, bye.
Exactly. So yeah, Cameron is outside, and I think actually at this point, oh blimey, we've actually reached our time for
Blimey.
tonight's session. Blimey,
I mean, that's cool.
that's cool. It's not too much of a bombshell,
And on that bombshell.
but yeah, I guess we will be ending session 7 of Out of the Abyss there. You'll be able to catch it up on YouTube pretty shortly. There's daily videos.